All right, all right, all right, all right. Let me put my ring on. Remember last time somebody cried about he ain't got his ring on. All right, I got a couple of rings up in here. You want to put some rings on? I put rings on. I got another ring up here. You need more rings? I put more rings on. Okay. Once again, this is Andre and Andreas. Love crossing borders. Today is Sunday. We got a great topic tonight. We've always said that we're going to stop talking about this topic because y'all don't listen anyway. But there are a few guys that actually do listen in. And this topic is about a young man or older man. I believe he was a young man. And he's from the state of Texas. He was deleted over the past couple of days in the wonderful city of Medellin that you also love and adore. City of Medellin. This time, they didn't even wait to scopamine the young man. They didn't wait to put it in his drink. Nothing. She just put them. I said she put them things up in him. Put that steel up in him. This is not a game, guys. I don't know what you brothers are thinking, but going to Medellin and Cartagena, and I keep saying it, and I'm gonna have some brothers come up that's gonna preach the gospel of Medellin, and I don't give a damn. Because there's too many hard-headed dudes that's going. It's so many good guys that go to Medellin, have no problem, have been going for years, no issues, no problems ever, not one time. And while other dudes refuse to listen to these dudes that usually are boots on the ground, I do not get it. I don't understand. And I'm at that point where I'm not going to pretend like I understand. Looks like I'm freezing a little bit, guys. I'm going to change the router if I have to. Let me change that even while we speak because, yeah, I'm freezing. That's looking real bad. That's looking real bad. That Wi-Fi. So give me a second so I don't get caught struggle streaming. Now it looks like it wants to come together. It looks better. So we'll see for a minute. And then if I need to switch it over, I'll switch it over again. But right now it's looking a little better. Just a tad bit. Either way, before we get started, I'm gonna get a shout outs to all you guys that are here. First of all, let me get a shout outs to all the dudes that have donated to the Children's Cancer Foundation. Right now, we got my man Abraham, father of many nations. Thank you for the $5 super chat. All super chats for the last 4 months, all super chats, September, October, November, December, all super chats are going to be donated to the Children's Cancer Foundation here in Cali, Colombia. We did it last year. We're doing it again. Right now, we're at about $1,200. Shout out to you guys. Andre and I donated the first $500 every year. We give the first $500. Last year, we raised $1,700 and donated live on the show. So far, we're up to $1,200, and we still got all of December to go, and then we donated during the month of January. So shout out to all you guys. First of all, Abraham, father of many nations, for the $5 super chat. Cash app. Also, my man, The Wall Report, who always shows love to the children with the $8.99, and my man John Mitchell with the $5. Shout out to you guys in advance. All you guys that have given, my man Keith is in the building with the $5 unk. What's up? Them 813 Truck Life boys living that salt life down in Florida. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for being here for the $5 super chat. And for the love of the game, my man, straight out of Canada, Black Nubia, mom, Canadian boys, they at it again. They at it again, mom. Straight up there in Toronto, Quebec, Windsor, all the Ontario boys, all them Vancouver boys, British Columbian boys. Shout out to all you Canadian boys out there. Montreal. I ain't mad at you. Shout out to my man Tevin King in the building with the $20 super sticker. Sponsoring the show so far for the love of the game. I appreciate that, brethren. I appreciate that. This is a very, very important topic we're going to be on tonight. As I mentioned, we've got several guys that are going to be coming up. We're going to look at the video that DC Rob just recently dropped just over a few hours ago. Shout out to DC Rob. If you guys have not subscribed to his channel, you're doing yourself a disservice. First, shout out for the night is my man 313, them Detroit boys. Poor man. Shout out to you, brother, for being here. Usually in the replay crew. Yes, you are the king of the replay crew. Shout out to man Tevin. He said, salute to everyone in the chat. It comes down to my conclusion that at some point, people refuse to follow instructions when they are traveling. This is so true. How much more senseless deletions need to occur for it to stick? I mean, I'm with you, brother, on that one. We're going to get to that. We got to, like I said, we're going to talk about seven things that dudes take for granted, foreigners take for granted when it comes to these countries. Every time, it never fails. Anybody that gets deleted, anybody that gets robbed that I see, for the most part, we got 62 people in the building. Make sure all 62 people click that like button. Hey, we like you. Make sure you like us too. There are 7 areas that I noticed that dudes end up in situations where they get, where's my notes? Here they go. Where they end up getting deleted. Cologne of the night is Men in Black. That Men in Black. I mean, Man in Black, my bad. I'm telling you, when I say this, you guys, I'll be meaning this. Some colognes for fucking. This cologne, you either going on a date or you gonna smash her after the date. This Man in Black. I kid y'all not. It is a very. Sometimes you hear YouTubers, colognes say it has a creamy. It does, man. It has like there's a smooth scent about it. All male, all masculine. This the cologne that you put a little back here, a little back there, and then you go take a little bit, squirt right around your stomach. You're going to squirt around your stomach, no lower than your belly button. Why is that, Andre? I said it for sex. If you squirt it too low, see, I used to make that mistake. You squirt it on your pelvis. I kid you not. You know I got a story for everything. Man, I've been waiting to smash this one Puerto Rican chick back home for the longest, right? Finally, she say, Dre, I'm going to give you this fat booty tonight. I'm like, I'm getting that fat booty. She say, Dre, you getting this fat booty tonight. I said, she cooked for a brother, treated brother. See, that's why I learned about the Latin women cooking good for you. I learned that in the States. So check it. I'm getting it tonight. Boy, she took them clothes. Oh my gosh. Freaky, nasty, everything going good. About 20 minutes in, she said, oh my God, it's burning, baby. I'm thinking she said it's burning with love and lust. No, I took some cologne, put it on the pelvis below the belly button. As I began to sweat, the cologne was seeping into the sweat of my penis as it started going right into her coochie. And the oils and the alcohol in the cologne began to burn her. Man, I didn't get a chance to finish the job. She didn't get a chance to finish the job. I knew what it was. And I was like, Now, the next day she came back. She said, Dre, I'm good. She said, if you want to finish this off, we can finish this off. And I was like, I got to fly somewhere. I was on my way to Chicago. I was about to fly to the shot the next day. I said, but when I come back, never made it back to get it again. So when I tell you, why do you put it like right around your stomach? Because what scent do you want when she giving you some head? When she giving you that fire, that good, you want her to smell the cologne too. So I learned just a little squirt above the belly button if I'm about to have some sex. So she can still smell the scent of that cologne. Come on now. She can still smell that scent of that cologne while she giving me that good, right? I'm giving you some game, but do not spray it below the pelvis. Your boy is giving you the reason why I kid you not. She was like, oh, baby, it feels so. Oh, she said, it's burning. It's starting to burn. I said, yeah, baby, it's burning. She said, no, it's starting to. She said, I don't know what. And I knew immediately what it was. The oils and the cologne was seeping into her coochie. And I was like, fuck. So don't make my mistake. Spray above the belly button so she can enjoy the scent of the cologne while she down there giving you the good. All right. Yeah, I told you I got a story for everything. All right. My man, Wall Report is in the building. Shout out to you once again, brother. Thank you for the super chat. I mean, the donation, Cash App donation toward the children that you always give every week. You can lead a horse to a water hole, but unfortunately, you cannot make him drink it. That is so true. Shout out to my man B Ho for the $10 Cash App towards the Children's Cancer Foundation as well, guys. Shout out to you. And we got my man Keaton's in the building once again. Rules are everywhere you go. It's best to learn from the people that have already been there or that are already there. This is true. This is one of the things that I'm talking about that dudes make mistakes on. This does not discourage me from traveling. One, true. Just make sure, just makes me want to learn more. Absolutely correct. That's like how I do it. When I go somewhere, I never go as if I know everything, even if I've been there before. I give you a perfect example. If I go back to Tampa and I go back to my neighborhood, I don't care how many years I lived in that neighborhood in Tampa, because I haven't been there for a while. That's a whole new neighborhood, whole new neighbors, brand new buildings went up, the whole thing. You never know a place like you think you know a place, because the world is always evolving. Communities, neighborhoods, people are always evolving. So never take for granted what you think you know. Always be on learner mode. I live and I will die on learner mode. Always be on learner mode. Don't never think you know everything. Let's scroll down a little further. My man Mike Lowry's in the building. What's up, OG, triple OG? Yeah, my man Wall Report once again. Just gotta love the opening. Hey, man, I love that opening because of history. I'm going to be looking up some new passport holders that are famous as well. Oh, my man Victory's in the building as well. Shout out to you. Here we go. Let's go. Yes, sir. The navigator's in the building, ready for school. Yes, sir. I got my pen in hand to take notes from some of the guys that'll be coming through this evening as well, giving us some information. Like I said before, we got 92 people in the building. Make sure all 92 people click that like. Like I mentioned before, we got DC Rob's latest video on the guy that got deleted in Medellin. I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. It just happened yesterday. While many of us was out clubbing and partying and having a good time, this is a holiday weekend in Colombia, like dang it, every other weekend. But there's a holiday weekend in Colombia, so everybody's having fun. And to come to Colombia and get deleted, yeah, we got to talk about that. So we're going to hear what DC Rob had to say in regards to the news about it. Shout out to Razor Ray being in here as well. And my man, Black Man's Travel. He's also doing a live stream about it also. So shout out to him. Let me scroll. Agenda Fresh. Shout out to you, brother. Agent Fresh is in the building. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Crazy. My man Neo is in the building as well, looking cool. I ain't mad at you, brother. I've been trying to get a good AI app so I could do some AI. If anybody got any suggestions of a good AI app that I could use for thumbnails, YouTube video thumbnails, kind of like what you got up there, guys, please drop the link. Please drop the link in the comments or put a name, because I'm trying to find a decent. I have yet to find a decent AI tool to use for my thumbnails. I kid you not. Shout out to my man Ethan once again is in the building. I heard about it. That was crazy. Yes, they're not even waiting around. They're not even putting the drug on their breast no more, and letting you at least suck and then you fall asleep. Nope. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. Cool sister. She thought Cali was more dangerous for tourists than Medellin. I started showing her Medellin headlines. She was like, I did not know that. She said, a lot of us here in Cali don't keep up with Medellin. She said, because that's on the other side of the country. She said, I thought it was all safe because Medellin was so famous. And, you know, people get robbed for petty stuff here in Cali. I say, no. I say, it's Wild West Medellin. E-Man is in the building. Shout out to you, E-Man, for being here tonight as well. Shout out to you. Once again, thanks, Tim, for showing the love. We Are Night is in the building. Blessings to you as well, brother. Blessings to you. And my man, shout out family, the Detroit boys right there. Shout out. Which we could have caught up the other day, but we're gonna catch up when we get back. Them Carolina boys in the building. He said, I just finished listening to Los about the crypto. That was a great video that we did this weekend. If you are interested in crypto and go, we just did a video series, Crypto and Go. What is Crypto and Go? Building your investments in whatever genre so you could put yourself in a position where you can go to whatever country or live whatever life that you want. Crypto and Go. That was our last live stream. Guys, be ready to take advantage of it. We got one of our guests here. I'm pulling him up in a few moments. Mr. is in as well. Shout out to my man. Them Tar Heels in the building. Dark Tar Heels. And we got Mr. O, my dude. Fashion extraordinaire, advice extraordinaire. Great channel as well. Blessings to all traveling abroad. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ransom's in the building as well. We got all the family in the building tonight. No wonder we got 90 plus people in the building. Racket Club is here. Shout out to all you brothers. Looks like I froze for a second. All right. Let me scroll down, make sure I got Dapper Don's in the building as well. Always dapper. Aaron's in the building. Shout out to you, Aaron. He says the oldest trick in the book. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The wrong kind of fire. Yeah. Yeah. She was like, it's burning. I was like, what? She said, it's burning. I knew exactly what she was talking about. He said, I be spraying on the ball. see, I ain't the only one. I'm not the only one that be spraying in the nether regions. See what I'm saying? Man, the ladies like to smell the scent while they giving you the good, right? So I learned that lesson the hard way. He said, tap is no joke. That's serious. That's so serious. Yeah. Come on. Hey, Timothy, shout out to you, brother. Good evening. Come on, start to you as well. Dark Green is in the building as well. Shout out to you. What's up to you, brethren? My man Growth, always here, always supporting. Peace to you. Peace to the chat. Kings and Dreams, Jay. Shout out to you, family. Glad to see that you made it in here as well. Los, shout out to Los once again for him and Joey for an excellent live stream. Crypto and Go. Make sure you guys subscribe to Los's YouTube channel as well, Crypto Kings, and Let's Learn Crypto. Let's Learn Crypto. Make sure you guys subscribe to his YouTube channel, because whether you guys want to admit it or not, it don't matter. The landscape of how we're going to be using currency in the next 5 to 10 years is already laid the foundation. So whether you believe in crypto or digital currency, it don't matter. The countries do. Anytime all the countries and presidents, prime ministers and leaders and kings are on it, it don't matter what us regular people think. The way we use money is about to change. EMB, he said, yeah, I don't have my word for the day. I do not have my word for the day. I'm going to have to stop doing that, man. I'm going to have to really buckle down and get my word for the day in. That's serious. Chaz in the building. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. He said, I always travel by myself. We're going to talk about that. That is one of the ones that we're going to talk about. Solo travel versus group travel. Some dudes, they make mistakes when they're doing group travels, and some dudes make mistakes even during their solo travel. Like me, I was a solo traveler for the most part. I would meet you guys in that city. I wouldn't be getting on a plane and with you guys, but I would meet some of you guys in many of the cities. So solo travel was kind of cool for me in regards to that, because I will meet so many guys. Steel Keys is in the building. Shout out to you. Yeah, man. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know I was freezing, Vic. Drew Jr. World in the building. He said just came back from Medellin and Cali 2 weeks ago. Had a travel Had a traveler's OG with me, yes, sir. And like me, that's what I do. When I travel solo, I make boots on the grounds dudes. Absolutely correct. He says, use every common sense and street smarts. Come on, guys. That's the funny part that gets me as well. When dudes do not use everyday street smarts. Sad to hear this story. Shout out to my man Monk Motors in the building as well. Shout out to you. Love the photo, man. Anytime I see it. Shout out to my man Jason in the building. Jay's going to be, he's our guest here today. We're going to talk about this particular topic. Let me bring Jason up right about now. Shout out to Jason.
Brother Andre, what's going on?
What's up, brother? One of the original Medellin dudes from way back in the early 2000s.
Life is good.
Life is good. This is what we're going to do, Jay. First thing we're going to do is we're going to watch the video by DC Rob. And then we're going to give our commentary on that video and hear what you have to say about it. But to lay a foundation, tell guys about you, Paisa Gringo, a little bit about your history.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. Yeah, my name's Jason. I'm from New York. They call me Paisa Gringo because I have a lot of Colombian friends from New York. And I was visiting here to Medellin more than they would. And it was like, yo, you out there more than I am. You're Colombian, and I'm Colombian. I was in the Marine Corps military. My first time to Colombia was in 2003. And since then, I think I lost count of like 35 times I've been out here. Since the pandemic, since 2020, I consistently have been spending more time here than in New York. This year, 2023, I've spent now 9 months here and 3 months in the US.
I see we both rocking Colombian jerseys today.
Oh yeah, Atlético Nacional. We took an L today. We took a loss today to the Millonarios from Bogota, but it's all good.
It's okay. All right, good. Let's get ready to watch this video, Jay. We're going to watch this video once again by DC Rob. Breaking news, guys. Breaking news.
Breaking news. Another American found dead Poblado in Medellin, Colombia, this time from stab wounds. In a hotel in Poblado, they found her dead with stab wounds. The incident occurred in a hotel in the Astorga del Poblado neighborhood. According to the preliminary information, the man entered the hotel located in the Astorga del Poblado neighborhood in the early morning of November 11th with a woman. Hours later, the woman came out with a bag. On the afternoon of November 11th, Hudson was found dead inside his place. The man had multiple stab wounds. Let me show you the neighborhood on a map, and then I'll meet you on the other side. This has even got the Sweet Georgia Cafe in it, all the way down to Exitos on 10, down to the Metro train. I stayed in one of those highlighted areas. So, yeah. Okay, so there you go. You see this is close. This is close to Parque Poblado, close to everything. I mean, obviously it's dangerous there. I'm still going to go. But again, I'm not out late at night bringing a chick back to the place. It's just, it's not going to happen. And if I were to ever to do that, it surely wouldn't be now. There will be war in the streets and guys will still go. So since I get that, I will still report the news. You know the rules of the game. Everybody slips. And again, not to be preachy, but once you've had a drink or two, you're not the same. I will be watching and paying attention, but it's unfortunate for the families. Again, I tell you guys, it's not just you. It's not just you. You're a father, you're a brother, you're a cousin, you're a son, you're a friend, you're a best friend. It's not just you. So you have to think about other people too.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So as I was saying, and my man Jason take care of business. As I was saying, yeah, I see you, Jay. I had to go grab me a bottle of water. I see you got you a little tea or a little something to drink as well.
We're going to do what the locals do.
I know, right? And so this is a sad situation. We've got 109 people in the building. Make sure you click that like button. We like you. Make sure you click that like button for us too. And once again, super chats in the cash apps, guys. Now, as we listen to DC Born Rob's story in regards to let me ask you this. I want to go back to this video because this is a part that I want to get your commentary on. Let's go back to about the area where he was showing the map. Do you recognize that area of the city?
Yes, very, very, very well.
Tell us a little bit about it. Is it normally dangerous or is it normally safe? In other words.
Well, if you're looking at this map to the west, you see the metro station Poblado, the little blue square at your top left corner there.
Right.
Right as you're crossing, going up north, going uphill, you're gonna pass the Centro Comercial. You're gonna pass the they just painted it blue, but it's missing my name right now. But Monterrey, Centro Comercial Monterrey, and they're famous for fixing computers, laptops, electronics, all kinds of things. Like 2 years ago, there was like a real wild story where they tried to rob this warehouse that had a whole bunch of gold in it, and there was like a shootout, and that's that area, right? So that's Estación Poblado. As you go up north, go up the hill, Calle Tien, you're going to pass the Éxito. I think we see Éxito Poblado there on the map. As you pass that, you're going to pass on the left side a nightclub called Dubai. Whole nother story, but somebody got something bad happened to somebody in front of that nightclub the other night. But yes, this is normally not. Some people get Parque Poblado and Parque Jettas confused, right? Parque Poblado is the park that's right in front of the church. And right to the right of that park is a police station. You get a lot of hipsters, people skateboarding, whatever. It's not super dangerous, right? And that's where the new politics of Parque Jettas, they tried to push everybody down 2 blocks that way. Now they got like they check IDs when you come into the Parque Jettas area. I will say the government knows that that's an area where there's a lot of tourists. Tourists bring money. You need to keep that area safe. They're trying to do what they can do. This year was an election year. Elections have come and gone. But everyone knows those are hunting grounds. That's where the tourists are going to be. That's where the money's going to be. And if you're a stick-up kid, if you're trying to hit a lick, that's where you go. You're not going to do it in Robledo. You're not going to do it where you live because everybody where you live is in the same situation as you are. So everybody knows that's where
good point. The
tourists are going to be, the money's going to be. For the most part, I have a bank account here in Colombia. The people in the banks, they will speak more English than they do here where I am right now in Sabaneta, 20 minutes south of Poblado. So it's a kind of difficult question, Andre. Is Poblado dangerous? Yes and no. Yes, because that's where the tourists are going to be. That's where the money's going to be. And therefore, that's the feeding grounds. And that's where these low lives are going to go hunt. The cops know that too. And the cops know they need the resources of tourists. So they need to try to keep it kind of safe. Now, me personally, Andre to Jason, I live in Medellin. I don't go to Poblado. Kind of like you just mentioned in Rob's video.
Again.
I live in Medellin. I live in Medellin. I don't go to Poblado. I just don't. I know what it is. I know what's there. If I do, it's on a request of someone that's visiting maybe their first or second time. Hey Jay, we've heard about it. We've seen the YouTube videos. Let's go. Okay. It's not a place I frequent.
Even though I didn't play that part in BC Rob's video, he said that the expats, the guys that travel to Medellin quite often, don't go to El Poblado. Dudes have this fantasy of El Poblado, of what it used to be back in the day. So they think that when they come down, that El Poblado that they heard about when they were in the barbershop in Detroit is that El Poblado. That El Poblado does not exist. It has not existed on that level for years, to where you could just take a chick down there, have a good time, have a great evening, and leave. It doesn't exist like that anymore. Am I correct?
That is dead and gone, done and dusted. That Poblado, I remember 10 years ago, right there when you came in, right where the Mondongo's restaurant is, you make that right, you tell a taxi driver, let me up there, there was a statue. I used to tell all my people, yo, meet me right there at the statue. It was a place where people that, not rich, not poor, just medium range people, that's where they went on the weekends to have a good time. There were some nice bars there, some restaurants, Italian, whatever you wanted. Now it's something of Hunts Point, Bronx, New York. Like you go there, it's very clear what's going on there, right?
Yeah, I noticed that. And I noticed that in 2000. I noticed it in 2018 for my first trip prior to like 2016. And when I went back in 2018, it was like a completely different location. Completely. I could tell it was shady. Before it was kind of hidden because there were so many, down to earth people, good atmosphere, and it was well protected. So it was a really good spot. But then go to El Poblado and go to Parque Lleras area, like right around 2018, I'm starting to notice that it's really getting more ladies of the night coming out. I'm starting to see more fights in the streets of locals. I'm starting to see more drug deals in the streets, like it was nothing. And I'm looking like, it was probably the first time that I had been in Colombia that I felt kind of awkward in a sense of like, should I take care of business during the day? Because at night, I don't know if I want to be walking down these streets. It was the first time I ever felt that in Colombia was something ain't right. This ain't the same El Poblado area or the same Parque Lleras area from when I came a couple years before. And so I could imagine how bad it is now.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think I opened my bank account 2017, 2018. And that's the reason I did that was because, okay, I'm invested. I'm serious now. I want to be here. And at that time, soccer game, right? Colombia versus Brazil, Colombia versus Paraguay. That was the place to be. Parque Lleras, watch the soccer game, nice restaurants. If you was looking for stuff, you could find it. You might have had to ask a person or two. Now, you go there, it's in your face. It's literally is not the same place. And I get it. I don't want to get political. Quintero, he knew this was his last year as mayor of Medellin. He's implemented the whole thing where we're going to go start doing welfare checks on these, like the indigenous people. That was a big problem. Never liked seeing that. You have the old.
So, wait a minute, hey Jay, let's go back to that. You said that's the location where the indigenous get their welfare checks too.
That has been a hot topic for a long time. If you've been around Parque Lleras,
we have that spot in like 5 blocks away
in Cali.
In Cali, we have the location where they go get their checks, or if there's any issues, it's like a whole big crowd of people. It's all the indigenous or the black people that have been robbed for their land, and they're on Colombia's version of welfare. FARC went out and just started taking land. And so we have a big cluster location in our neighborhood, which is one of their banks. And I asked Anja, I said, why all these black people always in line in front of this bank like this huge line, and indigenous people? And she explained to me that the government pays for these people losses. In other words, their loss of their land or whatever it may. So they get a particular, they get a payment every month. So you'll see just crowds of people around certain banks. It's like 1 or 2 banks in the city that they can go to. And so that's why they're so crowded. And I mean hundreds of people every single day except for the weekend.
All right.
Every day.
I can tell you what I've seen here in Medellin is the indigenous people, the men seem to have jobs in construction or something like that, right? And
True.
what you see in Parquejetas, you'll see the women and the children out there, and the children will be dancing or singing, and it don't matter if it's 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 a.m. You'll see them out there. You don't see the men, because the men have jobs. This is what I hear, they have construction jobs, and they just burn all that money up in alcohol and all that stuff. The women will be out there with the children, panhandling, asking for donations. I've done it. I have never really been, I don't like having moneda. I don't like having coins on me. So every time I do something with cash, I get the coins back. I have a little Ziploc bag here in the couch. And what I do is when I leave the house, I just grab a handful of coins, because there's people all over panhandling. And what I do is I just give them some coins. I give them the coins that way.
Jar coins. I'm just like you. I get so many coins. I got coins down here that fill up this jar. So you get 5,000, 10,000s, and 100,000 pesos, which is, I mean, these coins are probably worth like 50 cents, 37 cents, 20 cents. You know, some of them are maybe a bit more.
Yeah. Last time I checked, well, I feel good that this is getting kind of low. Last time I checked, I had about 17,000 in coins. But yeah, the only time I've seen really big lines out here in Medellin is the Copatria. Oh no, I'm sorry, Copensiones, and that's like where the people they've worked their jobs for 20 years and they get their little pension, and I've seen huge lines out there. But as far as Parquejetas go, they trying to crack down on because it's child exploitment, right? They got the kids out there all times of night. They're trying to sell you gum or a cigarette or something like that, and I don't like it. And that's what Parquejetas has tried to transform themselves into, because now they got like these barriers where if you look like you're under 18, the cops can ask you for ID to get into that area. Parquejetas, where the taxi stand used to come into, is closed off now, and they have tables there and chairs. But all they did really was push all of that action. They pushed that stuff like 2 blocks further south towards Parque de Poblado. So it's still there. And once again, I just said this was an election year. They were trying to make it look like they did something to clean it up.
Yeah.
It's still dirty. It's still dirty.
Yeah. Let's go through this list, Jason, now that we're here. This is the 7 areas that I noticed that foreigners take for granted damn near every time they come to Colombia. At least I know Colombia. I've heard about it in other countries, but at least I know Colombia. First of all, the difference between solo travel and group travel. Sometimes the big mistakes when it comes to solo travel is not reaching out to guys like you, guys like myself, other gentlemen that are already down there, boots on the ground guys. Like when you always tell guys in Medellin, hey, if you can't meet anybody, go to Sweet Georgia Cafe or Sweet Georgia Grill. It's a restaurant in Medellin owned by brothers from the States. Is always brothers from the States there. But the mistake of solo travelers, they really try to live or go solo without just reaching out to somebody. I want to hear what you have to say about that. But then the second part is when it comes to group travel, the mistake with that is that you and I notice if a group says we're going to buy pay for play, instead of being your own man, you go ahead and buy pay for play and you be the one to get caught up from following the crowd. So it's almost like you got to be aware of yourself on both ends. Let me hear what you have to say about that when it comes to solo or just following the crowd in the group travel.
Well, that's an easy one for me. I don't have to. I'm not even gonna hold you up. You hit all the points, right? Solo travel, yes, you should reach out to somebody because they will tell you what's what. I mean, you got an email connected to your YouTube channel. You got group chats. There's all kind of resources out there. Everybody that, for the most part, that wants to travel, they get motivated by something, and it's going to be a YouTube video. You got a resource there. Stop being arrogant. Stop thinking you know everything. Stop saying, I'm from St. Louis, I'm from Detroit, I'm from New York. I know I could go to Medellin and just by myself. And then the really biggest thing I think where a lot of guys get caught up is they're traveling short term, 4 or 5 days. So they feel like they got this pressure on them that like, I got to hit the ground running. I met 2 or 3 people off Tinder. Before I get to the hotel, I got to scoop you up on the way, get to the hotel, because I only got 5 days. So that's not enough time to vet anyone. There's not enough time to just slow down. So that's my thing with the solo travel. Yes, if you haven't been there, even if you've been to Medellin, like let's say we're going to use Medellin as an example. I'm here. You've been here 2 times, 5 days each time. So you got a total net time, 10 days here in Medellin. Things are changing every year. Things are changing with the cab stands, just the scopolamine. Everyone's been taught. Keep your eye on your drink. If you somehow lose your head and you go to the bathroom, you forget your beer, buy a new one. Yep, that don't work no more because now they got diazepam. They got all kinds of other drugs you get from a pharmacy. The old scopolamine joint was they drop it in your drink. You could go away 3 minutes, you come back, you see something fizzing. It's still fizzing. Now they got some stuff that's liquid. It just dissolves instantly. You don't even see it. Like be cordial, be nice with your doorman, tip your bartenders. They know what to look out for. They work in that industry. That's me as a solo traveler, but definitely reach out to somebody that can stop being so arrogant, thinking you know everything. And that's our biggest flaw as Americans. Group travel, be your own man. Be your own man. Yeah, if you in a group of 4 and they went to Jeddas and they 3 of them picked up some working girls or whatever, and if that's not your thing, be true to you. That's not your thing. You're the DD. You're the designated driver for that night. That means you don't pick up one off the street. Your boys do what they do. You sit right there in the living room. You watch Netflix. You put a damn Dave Chappelle comedy on. You sip you some water or electrolyte, and you make sure, all right, 3 came in, 3 go out. You check on your 3 mans. He's good, knocked out, smile on his face. He's good, knocked out, smile on his face. And he's good, knocked out. Lock up the door, and then you go to sleep.
I like what one brother did. That's a great analogy that you used. Don't allow the pressure of others. I give you a perfect example, guys. Like I say, I always got a story. There's a brother, Passport, Love Passport and Pursuit. Shout out to him and his wonderful, wonderful wife. when he was going down to, going with the fellas, and all the fellas wanted to hit Sasua, he was like, you know what? Let me see if I can find a regular woman out here, just a regular Dominican chick. Met his wife after a few trips, met his wife. Even though he was still going down to DR with his group guys on a regular basis, and they were doing their Sasua thing, he was getting to know the woman who would eventually become his wife. And if you ever watch Love, Purpose, and Passport, she speaks English better than all of us put together. Wow. And she's very professional in her career, and they're an excellent couple. In other words, just like you said, even though you travel as a group, you don't have to do everything that your boys are doing. And that's number one of the 7 that we're talking about, mistake that you don't want to make. Let's go to number 2, Jason. The number 2 that I have mistake that guys make sometimes is when you hang out. Sometimes it's not just the where. I'm more of a daytime hangout dude than a nighttime hangout dude. Most of the time, foolishness happens if the majority of the time when you hang out in Medellin or any part of the Colombia is nighttime. Sun goes down, just like in the States. That's when the foolery tends to happen. So I realized when I was solo, I kid you not, most of what I did was during the daytime. I find events and things and people to enjoy and people to meet, and it was during the daytime. And then when I did go out at night, it was like to meet up events, language exchange events, meet up with guys that I just met. It wasn't necessarily 5 days of club, sleep all day, club, sleep all day, club, sleep all day. You see what I'm saying? A lot of dudes don't realize that a lot of the reason why dudes get caught up is because of when you hang out in Medellin. Like you got dudes like Jason, he may not go out because he knows Medellin. He might not go out at night for maybe like 2-3 weeks. And then when he's ready, some of you guys come to town, Jay, like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna hang out with you tonight. That's how I do it. Me and Andre might have date nights, but we ain't hanging out at night like that all the time. Why? Because we find life and find Colombia more enjoyable during the daytime. What do you have to say about that, Jason?
I agree 100%. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. I do work from home. So I work from my apartment here in Medellin. Sometimes it gets to about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and I start to see sun's coming down, and I know I had to go to the market to get eggs or milk or something, and I run out because I prefer to be out in the daytime. And it's logistics, it's math, it's numbers, it's people that rob people that want to do harm to people. They understand that cameras, there's less people on the street at nighttime. And that's why most robberies, a lot of attacks happen after dark. There's less people out. Cameras, they're not really good. Even night vision is going to be like green and white. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And then sometimes, too, if you want to bring in, this is what they do for work. And if they're working 9-10 p.m. to 6 a.m., yeah, there's a good chance they're sleeping during the day. And that's when I want to go out to the bank and go to the supermarket and get my stuff done. And I want to get back home before they wake up and go out to work again.
That's a perfect example of, I noticed that with the clock tower girls in Cartagena. You do not see them during the day. And it's funny. I purposely did this for 2 days while me and Andre was on our last trip to Cartagena. I watched when the sun starts slowly going down, and all of a sudden you start seeing more women like 5:30 at 10 o'clock walking around Cartagena with these exotic evening dresses on and mini skirts and freakum dresses. And you're like, it's 5. Oh, the sun is going down. And you would just see them. They'd be sitting there to the side. They're not even close to the clock tower yet. They're like a couple of blocks away, and they may be resting at the Exito, because the Exitos have seat areas outside. So they'll be waiting by the. All of a sudden, when the sun go down, and the rest of us are probably like going in for a little bit, all of a sudden you see them come out like a Thriller video. Like all these women come out, and then all the guys who want those type of women in Cartagena, they come out. But you're right, during the daytime, they're sleeping, they're resting, they are with their real husbands or boyfriends and with their kids, and they don't have any time for us. So that's why I always considered being strategic with my when do I go out. Now, guys, Jason and I are not saying that we're fear-mongering and hide yourself like a zombie apocalypse and you can only go out at night. This is not I am legend Will Smith. We're not saying that. We're saying that if you're going to make some moves in other countries, shout out to you, Victory. If you're going to make some moves in other countries, do realize that you might find just as much fun in the daytime with where regular people in their country is spending their time than sitting back trying to be a creature of the night and you're not good at it. I'm going to just say it like that. You're trying to be a creature of the night and you ain't good at it. You ain't a creature of the night in the States. Most of us passport dudes and travelers, we got a regular 9 to 5 in the States. You used to doing everything that you do in the daytime anyway. And then you want to come to another country for 5 days and pretend like you just keep New York popping late at night. And so you can do it in Colombia. You are not a good creature of the night. I'm not one. Jason don't want to be one. And so we don't pretend that that's what we're going to be, creatures of the night. And so realize that some of you guys, just like me, I ain't made for that. Even when I was doing brothels, I was doing brothels during the day because brothels are open in the afternoon. So I can go to the brothel, got the price already up there. They got a shower in there. They got security. They got the madam. The ladies come up and introduce themselves. So with the brothel life, I didn't have to wait until the sun go down to meet some female at the clock tower and then hope I could get her back to my Airbnb. You see where I'm going with that? So a lot of what you guys were doing at night, I was getting taken care of during the daytime anyway. So I never had to do or deal with creatures of the night. I didn't have to deal with beautiful bottom feeders because I was a brothel dude and I wasn't a dude that dealt with the beautiful bottom feeders. That's just basically how I was. But let's go to the number 3, número tres. Número tres mistake that guys are making when it comes to traveling to South America, at least to Colombia. What she is and who she is. A lot of times, guys, you like, okay, she beautiful. I know that, but you don't know what she is. There are some of the most gorgeous gang members that you have ever seen in your life in Colombia. I'm gonna say this again. We ain't just talking about the LA cutes, Latin chicks with the tattoos and the bandanas. We ain't talking about them ladies. We talk about women that you would never know, would never recognize that she has been trained and that she has experience from her gang. Am I lying, Jason?
Not at all. Not at all. Some of the most beautiful women I've met here in Medellin, they are from estratos 1, 2, and 3. They don't come from a lot of money. They're just beautiful. Like, that's just God, genetics, and most of, I don't want to say most, some of them, they got taught or learned early, 8, 9, 10 years old. You're cute, you're beautiful. Use that. Use your looks. You could get whatever. Find you a gringo, somebody from Europe, Germany, Spain, Canada, United States, that could take you out of here or take care of you. But just like we see that, these people that run the bandas, the gangs, they see that too. And they say, hey, you're cute. We can use you to pull in gringos. We could use you in your beauty. Get them isolated. Get them here. Get them to his Airbnb. And and that's a really big thing. It's an unfortunate thing, but we have to understand people are trying to live, survive, and if you're blessed with good looks, yeah, it could go either way. It's call it talent, right? Call it you blessed with talent. LeBron, whoever, Mike Jordan, or very beautiful woman from Cali or Medellin. You could use that one way or another way, and if your family don't really teach you that way, all it takes is somebody with some money in a barrio and say, hey, we're gonna put you on this website. You're gonna get one of these gringos that come down here. You're gonna tell him everything he wanna hear. And
looks like you're frozen.
How now?
Okay, looks like we're back.
Okay, yeah. So they're gonna use your beauty to your disadvantage, and they're gonna kind of just have you. I think they call it like a honeypot or something like that, right? You're gonna attract a gringo or someone that got money or resources, and they're gonna use you to exploit that man or woman.
That's true. That's so true. And that's the formula in many of the cities, including Cali. Get the beautiful girl to do, just let them know, listen, you ain't got to do none of the dangerous part. We'll take care of all that. We just need you to be beautiful enough to lure these guys in. We just need you to be beautiful enough to lure these guys in. And so a lot of times these ladies are like, listen, I ain't making no money. And like Jason said, my mom ain't taught me about going to college. My daddy ain't teach me about getting no good job. So all I got is my fellow brothers in these barrios. And if they making money, and I'm looking at these dudes and they riding the best motorcycles and they driving the best cars in these barrios, and we in Strata 1, Strata 2, ain't no roads. It's just dirt. And these dudes say they about to put me on. They looking at it like, okay, it's a come up. I don't know those foreigners like I know my fellow brothers in these barrios. So these beautiful women are literally just being faithful to what they know. They don't know you, foreigner. I don't know if you guys, I don't know why guys like to treat foreign women as if they know them, as if they can relate to them. They don't know you at all. I don't care how charming, how nice. You see what, right? And guys hate to admit that part. And so these women know these men who they grew up with since kindergarten in these barrios. And they sat back and watch him go from broke to big boy making money. And so he said he wants to help her out. And so what ends up happening, he ends up helping her out. There are a lot of gang and organized crime affiliation in Colombia, guys. Now, just to give a disclaimer, and Jason and I can attest to this, 99% of Colombia and Colombians are not a part of this. All this that's going down in the travel realm, you got so many Colombians that couldn't tell you anything about Love Crossing Borders, DC Rob, Razor Ray. You got Colombians that know, not because of the language barrier, but they're not a part of this. They're not a part of the tourist world. It's just like a person from Michigan cannot tell you all that takes place in Las Vegas because they don't live in Vegas. They don't live on the strip or off the strip. So it is here in Colombia. So all you guys that think that, well, that's the majority of Colombian women, majority of Colombian men, no. Most of Colombian women and men are just going to work, going home, taking care of their families, building businesses, buying homes. They don't. We're oblivious to most Colombian people. We are not the number one subject in Colombia. So guys, do realize that when you sit back and you think that, well, Colombia. So no. Most Colombian women are not pay for play. Most Colombian women, just like most Colombian men, are not trying to take that 2,000-mile walk to El Paso, Texas, to try to get to United States. Most Colombians, they try to go to the States. These are just regular, everyday people that work in the malls, that work in the doctor's offices, the dentist offices, that work construction, that are just everyday, hard-working people. That's the 99% of Colombia. So that 1% that we're talking about, don't get it fucked up. We're just talking about 1% of a country, just like most of Americans are not criminals. It's just a small percentage of Americans that are criminals and that do regular crimes. Most of us are just hardworking, everyday American people. So when we sit back and say this, don't get Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, and the rest of these countries in South America fucked up by saying or thinking that what we're discussing, that's the normal life of Colombia. Colombians hate, if y'all want the truth, and Jake's going to attest to this before we go to number 4, Colombians hate crime just as much as we do. Let me hear what you have to say about that, Jay.
Yeah, very conservative country. They don't like crime. The 90s, without going into depth and all of that, Pablo and they hate it. They hate when foreigners bring it up. It is one of the worst mistakes you could ever bring up, to even just say blah 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 in the time in the 90s with Pablo, and did your uncle work with him? It is just a horrible topic. They don't like talking about it. They don't like talking about the kidnappings. Luis Diaz, famous soccer player, his father was just released after being kidnapped in La Guardia for like a week or two. They don't like it. And I think 2003, Medellin was awarded like the most innovative city in the world.
2016.
Colombia as a whole is one of the originators with the digital nomad visa. They like that. They want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that other stuff, right? They don't want to talk about the crime. They want to get away from that. Same thing I seen on Instagram. Some of these, we had 3 or 4 homicides or murders of Americans or foreigners in the last 3 weeks. You go on Instagram, Principal, Minuto 30, Arceo, Caracol, and you see a lot of them in the comments saying, I don't like this for my country. You look at what happened when they killed the freaking president of Haiti, and they found out that a lot of them was Colombian mercenaries. And then there were some more Colombians that was implicated in the murder a month ago in the presidential candidate in Ecuador. They were sick to their stomach. They was like, we do not want this. We are going backwards.
It's kind of funny you would say that, Jason, because just speaking and listening to regular everyday Colombians, guys, when you don't get a chance to hear this, they're saying the same thing. Are we going backwards? Because of what's happening, and they worked so hard since the 90s to clean up their reputation. And when it finally looked like their reputation was starting to get clean, all of a sudden these headlines come, then the tourists come down here, and then y'all make it to, dudes get deleted and make it to Fox News in the States. So now Colombia is back on the map, and then Netflix comes out with the series, and all of a sudden now Colombia is back on the map for something that they spent all these years trying to get the world to forget. And so the reason why Jason and I are saying this is to let you guys know what is the mindset of the average everyday Colombian. That's how they normally are. That's how they normally are. Most Colombians detest, and I mean detest, crime, because they look at it from this perspective. I ain't got much as it is. And for you to rob me or my child of the little that we have, and you grew up in these same neighborhoods as us, and you're gonna rob us.
Despicable.
That's when street justice take place. That's why Colombians hate crime so much. Let me get to these super chats from these brothers. Shout out, we got 118 people in the building. I don't know why we got only 9 super chats. I don't know what's going on, fellas. Support Black male media. We all, hey, y'all already know, like I always say, shout out to my sisters. If this was a Crimson Cure or Danica Marie or Six the Goddess, man, it would be like 29 super chats in there. Half of them would be over $50. So I know black men ain't broke, because y'all definitely support them sisters. And shout out for supporting those sisters. But we also got to make sure we support Black male media. And so at the end of the day, shout out to these guys that have given out, such as Rodney Woods in the building, just showing salute and showing love with the $9.99. I appreciate that. Also, my brother Victory once again with the $2 super chat and for the love of the game super sticker, as well as my man Black Nubian with the $5. Remember, guys, any cash apps, all cash apps are going to be going towards the Children's Cancer Foundation here in Cali, Colombia, for the last for the 4 months that ends every year. We have decided that every year, September cash apps, October cash apps, this November and December cash apps, all those cash apps are going to be going to the Children's Cancer Foundation every year. We're going to be doing that every year. We've already started last year, and I think that this is what makes our year start in being blessed, blessing other people.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Starts our year off with blessings. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 is mistakes that I see a lot. Me and Jason already talked about this, that a lot of guys make the mistake of in regards to you get too comfortable with your surroundings. And I'm going to start with this. The most comfortable surrounding that a lot of you guys have is your Airbnb or your hotel room. You think that that's a safe place, and based off of the results, many of the crimes that these women commit is in the safest place that you consider, your Airbnb and your hotel room. Why you guys are bringing these women back there and you still see the results? You still see the results from DC Robs and Razor Ray's channel week in, week out, letting you guys know. Why are you, if you do not bring prostitutes back to your personal home in the States, you do not bring paper. If you living in Buffalo, when was the last time you Buffalo brothers brought a paper plate back to your home that you worked so hard to acquire? When was the last time you saw dudes in Philadelphia taking women from the streets that you never met before back to your condo in the States? Oh, you don't do that? Your boys don't do that? Then why the fuck are you doing it, fam? In foreign countries, you don't know the city like that, unless you like Jason or I, that are expats. You don't know this person, and you think that you're taking her to the safest place, not realizing that is your dungeon. You are literally, your Airbnb and your hotel room has literally become a dungeon because you are doing it wrong. You're too comfortable with that. Do not get comfortable with your, and this is the other part, Jason. I just did a video a couple weeks ago on all of these hotel rooms that do 1 hour, 2 hour usages. To where you can go to this hotel, and it's all across Colombia. You can go to different hotels and they will ask you by the hour, how much do you want to stay? Do you want to stay 1 hour? Do you want to stay 2 hours? You can go there. They've got security. They're well established. They actually was established originally, Jason, for people that was cheating. So the people, because you know Colombians cheat. And so it's much cheating going on in Colombia that they actually put hotels in different parts of the city and start making money in all these cities to rent rooms for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or even up to 6 hours. And so they're not raggedy. They're not beat up. They're not tore down hotels. They're really nice hotels. But these were spots that actually exist, and they were made for people to cheat on each other, right? I got enough time. My wife at work. Let me go ahead and get it in and then leave. You know, her husband at work. We got two. Oh, we're gonna be okay. He at work. My wife at work. We're gonna get it in for about an hour, and then that's all over Colombia. You'll find all you gotta do is Google it, guys. Google hotels by the hour, Medellin. It'll be like 50 pop up. Why aren't you guys taking advantage of that instead of taking them to your place with all your expensive belongings? I knew one dude that did this, and the woman left because she realized none of his expensive belongings was with him in that 1 hour spot. He took her to a 1 hour hotel, and soon she realized this was not his spot, his Airbnb spot. She came up with an excuse to leave because she realized if I drug him, he has he got a couple dollars on him. He ain't got nothing but maybe I drug him for it ain't worth it. I take back to my boys a cell phone. I sat up here with this dude all night long, drinking with him and making him feel good. And he take me to a 1 hour spot. Oh no, I'm out of here. So that deterred her from actually robbing the dude because he didn't take her back to where all his gold was laying around. All you dudes that let her bring gold, all you dudes that bring computers down here. I don't know why y'all do that because you know you ain't working. All you dudes, come on, all these dudes that bring down 3-4 different pair of Jordans trying to be fly. All that is still at your Airbnb to whereas all you need to be is, I kid you not, all you need to do is Google it. Hotels by the hour in whatever major city. And they're all over the place. And you guys will take her back to where you think is the safest spot. And that is the most dangerous spot you can take a woman. And that comes from a lot of guys, Jay. And let me hear what you have to say about this. A lot of guys are just lazy.
Lazy. They don't want to put the groundwork in. And then I'm former U.S. Marine. We always had a saying say, complacency kills. You get complacent. You think your Airbnb, your hotel room is the most safe and logical place to be. And it's not. Like you just said, for all those reasons, I ain't got to go into it. You said everything perfectly. Yes, I'm in Sabaneta. 5 minutes south of here is La Estrella. Ton of motels. They pay by the hour. They have private garages. So if you put your car in the garage or if the taxi brings you in there, no one sees it. They're literally designed for you to go cheap. These hotels are designed. You can hide your car. Some of them, they have the jacuzzis, the hot tub in the room. They have like a little hole in the wall where if you want to order a drink or two, they got the little secret passageway. They put the drink through the hole. I may have or may have not been to one of these, but and a lot of them they have armed security too. So if you pull in a taxi with two people and one is trying to leave, security might be like, hey, this don't look right. But yeah, you think in your Airbnb, like you said, with your Jordans, you take her to the motel and she see all I'm gonna get is what he got on him. And there's cameras and there's a damn security dude at the gate with a shotgun. It ain't worth it. I'm gonna give this one up, or write this one off on the job, and we're gonna find another set. He wasn't that simple.
Yep. And Jason is 100% correct. When you pull off into him, because I heard about him from dudes down here in Cali. And so I Googled, I was like, because I'm thinking like, man, these dudes crazy, man. These hotels for cheating. I'm like, you crazy. And so I wanted to do a video on it. Dude, kid you not, Afro Wahita had just did a video on it. Maya had just did a video on it while I was researching. So she actually let you see the inside of it. And it's just like if this the part. Once you and the person goes in, ain't no just getting out. If you say that you're going to go into this, if you say you go into this hotel for an hour or 2 hours, once they let that garage door down on you and your car, ain't no getting out but that 2 hours, unless you purposely call to say, we need to get out. We need somebody to come get us, as far as raising the garage. But once they let that garage down, Ain't no getting out. Ain't no.
So I
the
heard.
girls know that. So if this is a real sister that was a real female interested in you, she ain't got no problem with being with the garage door closed down, being in that spot with you for 2 or 3 hours or 4 hours, depending on what you want to do. But to take women back to your Airbnb in your hotel room, y'all crazy than a mother. Ain't no way in. I wish, man, when I was sick, ain't no way in hell. No. Let's get ready to hit to these brothers with the super chats real quick, and then we're going to go to number 5. Thanks for being here, Jason. I appreciate everything that you're saying.
I appreciate you.
And remember, Jay's been going to Medellin and traveling to Colombia since 2003, ex-military brother. And so his insight and he basically always there. Like he said, I'm at that point, I'm spending more time in Colombia, in Medellin, than he's spending in the States. And so, and that's just slow, methodic evolution. And a lot of guys don't want to take that slow pace to move into Colombia or becoming a more part of Colombia. Like we said before, 99% of Colombians, they ain't even on this. They ain't even on this. They just trying to buy some land, some property, trying to chill, enjoy their horses if they live in a country region. They ain't on this. They ain't stealing nobody. Man, I can't think of one person. I was sitting at the wedding the other day with Andre and her family, and none of these people in here that I've been knowing for almost 5-6 years, none of these people have ever given off an inkling from the teenagers all the way to the adults, have ever given off an inkling that they want to commit a crime or be criminals. Most Colombians are just like people in the States. You about to say something, Jay?
No. I'm just listening and just nodding my head in agreement.
Okay. Here we go. Once again, my man Passport stamp in the building with the $9.99. Good information.
Oh, Chad in the building.
Yeah, Chad always. Hey, Chad be. Hey. Chad just sneak in real quick and then sneak back out. That's what Chad be doing. My man Moody Man, for you, shout out to you for being a sponsor tonight with the $50 super chat. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Dre and Jason in Medellin now. Jason and I spoke of the lack of common sense being used by these gentlemen. Change your mindset. He's absolutely correct. It's most of your enjoyment of Colombia will be about your mindset. It really, really is. That's why. Let me ask you this, Jason. Have you in recent years, have you come close to a problematic situation like these guys have?
No, never. And that's just being cautious. That's just being invested, right? Learn the culture, try to learn the language. I get it. It's not, you're not gonna go to sleep and wake up the next morning speaking Spanish fluently. Women like to see that you're trying to learn the language. That'll get you far. Get out your comfort zone. Try to dance. Go to the salsa club. A lot of times, the salsa club kick off 10, 11 at night, but a lot of times from 8 to 10, they'll have the free lessons. And that's where you start to just talk to people. And then the lights come down, and then, hey, practice what you learned and all that good stuff. But no, like you said, most of the Colombianas that I've known and some of my friends now, we used to that 9 to 5, Monday through Friday work in the US. They really only get Sunday off. They work Monday through Saturday, and a lot of times it's 12-hour shifts, if not 14 hours. Like you said, 1% is out here in this criminal element. These are hardworking people. They just want to work and provide. I mean, come on, you leaving your house at 4 a.m., pitch darkness, you go to your factory or whatever, and you come home at 7, 8 at night. And then could you imagine? A lot of times they get paid their salary mensual, like once a month.
Once a month.
And you see it. And you know, they got to get better with the government with direct deposit and things like that to protect the people. Because a lot of times they go to their factory, their job, and they'll give them the salary one shot. Here's your 2 millones. And these freaking thugs, they know that too. And can you imagine you leave the bank or you leave the job and they put a gun in your face and take your 2 million pesos that you've worked all month for. You don't get another dime for another month. And you got a kid and a grandkid. Let's say you own the house. All right, you ain't got no rent, but now you ain't got no money for food, nothing. Like, come on, man. The most part, like you said, these are hardworking people. They don't. One of my homegirls that she lives south of me in Caldas, her mother is like 58, 60 years old. I took her to the Central. She ain't never been in the Central. 60 damn years old. Lives south of Medellin. Ain't never been to the Central. I took her there. And I had to tell her, listen, these people, they gonna try to touch you. They're gonna try to give you a piece of paper. Like, don't accept nothing. Don't acknowledge nobody. Just keep walking. 60 years old. Lived in Medellin or in Caldas, right? But it never been like to the Central. Like, in the Central is just a different beast of an animal. They got the pickpockets out there. They good. They work in teams. You got before you know what happened to you. That's why I was like, hey, I was like, mama, listen to me. Like, stay close. But yeah, I've never, thank God, just and listen to us, brothers and sisters, because I have seen recently a lot of more what I perceive to be American women here in Colombia, in Medellin, which is good. Like, hey, do you live your life, explore, but ask questions if you can. Do your research. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube, a lot of stuff on Google, to try to protect yourself as much from not being a victim. But me personally, I stay out the way. Like you, I kind of plan my day where it's like I really don't want to be out at night. I do go out at night. I go out at night. I've gone out on dates. I was out on a date 2 or 3 nights ago with a female friend of mine. We were in Sabaneta. We were in Parque Jettas Poblado area, but you just got to understand how the criminal element works too. They like to work under the cloak of darkness and all that for all kinds of reasons, right? You get away from cameras. You can take a left or right, turn your headlights off. You're gone. You have to think about that.
That's so true. And I like what you said about cameras because Colombia is a country of cameras. Just in case you guys ever wonder if Colombia a country of cameras, a lot of guys don't know this. The airport in Bogota has the most cameras in the world. Over 925 cameras just in the airport of Bogota. Colombia is just like New York. It is but it's a country of cameras. There are cameras everywhere. So when you guys, that's why they were able to say they saw him go in with her and then saw her come out of the guy's hotel or Airbnb by themselves. And speaking of hotels, a brother sent me Airbnbs. A brother sent me a message. I want you to hear this, Jason. He approved of me to play this on the live stream also. And then I'm going to show you what he sent me because of what's taking place. Shout out to him.
Right now, a lot of Airbnbs are not letting you rent unless you have.
Hold on. Let me turn myself off. You guys are hearing me. Let me turn myself off from the show. Now I'm going to go back to his message. And this guy is talking about just recently being in Medellin, trying to rent an Airbnb. And what happened?
You know, Dre, right now, a lot of Airbnbs are not letting you rent unless you have your company verified. There was a place that I paid for that would not give me access to the property unless I gave them the ID and information of a woman that I was going to bring over there. And I told them, I says, my girl is in the hospital right now with her child. I can't get her ID. Do you know that they would not give me access? I had to fight. I canceled the booking, and I got fortunate that because they did that, that I got my full refund instead of a partial refund. But yeah, it's messed up now, man. These brothers done fuck shit up, man. You know what I mean? You gotta fucking, it's crazy, man. You gotta fill out documentation to bring a woman in before you get access to the property. These niggas done fuck shit up.
This right here is the form that he sent me that the Airbnbs are starting to send out. Now, he was renting a spot in Medellin, and the form says this for some of you guys that can't see it on the screen. And I'll try to blow up a little more. The form says this from his host, and it has the host name at the top. It's the link that was sent to him. It says, welcome your reservation. Follow the instructions to access the property. One of the ways to access the property, he had to register his guest. So anybody that was going to be the guest that he was going to be bringing in, he had to register that person in advance. It couldn't be a situation where you would register somebody afterwards. So he had to basically register the person in advance. Let me make sure I've got all sounds off. Okay. So this is what's going on right now in order to protect many of the owners' investments that have invested in Airbnbs, because do realize when these criminal elements or crimes take place, it's bringing a bad light to that person's location, that person's place of business, which is their Airbnb, whether it be a hotel or whether it be an apartment. Once the word goes out, somebody passed on in that particular hotel room or passed on in their Airbnb, a lot of people don't want to rent in that location anymore. So they're losing money. So now they're asking you to fill out these forms. This is not the first time that I've heard about this, Jason. When Andre and I went to go in 2020, when we went to go to the festival in Medellin, and all of us YouTubers were going to hang out and everything, right before the pandemic, it was in February, they would not rent to foreigners unless you did exactly what that brother was saying. You had to, if you brought a guest in, you had to literally tell who this person was. They have to have their identification first before they let that person in. A lot of hotels are like that right now. If you bring a guest, that person has to be registered in advance with their identification on a regular basis. The only reason Andre and I got an Airbnb because I was with Andre and she's Colombian. They had gotten to the point in Medellin doing a festival, they would not rent to, it almost like they hit their numbers of foreigners and they were like, you know what? No more Americans, because American dudes was messing it up in Medellin. They were like, no more Americans. And it was so hard. The only way we got an Airbnb, because Ace had been in Medellin prior to the pandemic. He vouched for us. And then Andrea was with me being a Colombiana. So that gave us the opportunity to be in a really nice Airbnb. Other than that, everybody, the word was already out. They were not renting any more Airbnbs to foreigners because of some of the activities that's been taking place. What's our point? Our point is this: changes are going to have to be made, and it's not just going to be more police on the streets like in the States. We think that, okay, if they have more police, then these crimes won't happen. No, where are the crimes happening? In your Airbnb and in your hotel. So if most of the crimes that are happening are with the young lady or ladies in your Airbnb, in your hotel room. The person that has more control over this is the owners of the hotels or the Airbnbs, more control than the police or the security guard. And the first step they want to take is not tell you that you can't come, but tell you if you bring that heifer into our Airbnb, she need to be bringing identification. And that's going to become the norm throughout Colombia. Y'all might as well suck that up. If you think that you're going to be bringing a pay for play in the middle of the night from now on, that's going to slowly dissipate throughout Colombia because they're seeing a pattern. Yep. He said, my very last Airbnb literally stated no guests whatsoever.
I've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen that one before too. And Chris Millionaire says, DC Boy and Rob had me so nervous in Medellin. He said my dick couldn't even get hard. It's sad. Once again, it's not, Medellin is not bad. Medellin is an amazing city. If you go to Medellin for Medellin itself, not for the pay for play, not just for clubbing at night. If you go to Medellin for the country, for the city itself, it is an amazingly developed and growing city compared to cities on an international scale. They got some stuff coming down the turnpike for Medellin. Man, you dudes are sleeping on Medellin. But if you're only dealing with a certain group of, of women in certain circle, meaning the party girls, the pay for play, the scammers, if that's all you're dealing with, beautiful bottom feeders, then you're only getting a chance to enjoy a small section of what Medellin has to offer. Am I correct, Jason?
Yeah, 100% correct. You devil on that side of life, you're gonna deal with the consequences that come with that side of life, right? So some pay for play women, they work independent. Some they work for people. Like as a foreigner, you got no business being in the Central after dark. None at all. None at all. Central Medellin after dark, you're gonna have some, and I guess maybe I can't speak for Central Cali or because I don't know those cities, but Medellin, right? You're gonna have some unsavory characters, and I think mostly I've seen like the video of like some British backpacker. He's walking through Central Medellin after dark, and some chicks like without a fear in the world started like touching his book bag, touching his pockets, and they got bosses, they got people around. So even if you like try to do something, probably not going to be great, right? So you got that. You kind of just try to stay on the right side of just staying out the way.
Yeah, absolutely. They have down here every weekend a salsa celebration that's near Central Cali downtown. And I'm talking about, bruh, it's got to be 2,000 people crammed in the dude. It is the most beautiful, funnest, amazing thing. But then it's one of those things that I want to be stuck in a crowd of 2,000 people, even though everybody's having fun, they're drinking, all the live bands, all the live music every weekend. I mean, it is amazing to see it because everybody's out there dancing. It's like a block party every weekend. It's just it's like I don't think I'm comfortable enough with the locals. I don't want to say uncomfortable with the locals. I want to say that I don't think I'm comfortable enough with Central at night to be down in Central Cali, Colombia at night.
Yeah, call up 0.1%, right? You say maybe 2,000 people. So let's say out of that 2,000, let's say there's 20 people, 20 bad apples out there looking to pick a cell phone off someone's back pocket because everyone's bumping everybody. You lose the sensation.
Yeah.
That's enough. And just like you mentioned, last year when I was here for Christmas, I was in Envigado. We had policy you couldn't have a copy. I guess at this point, maybe a lot of people are showing copies of their ID. No, they wanted the actual ID, your celular. Didn't matter if you were Colombian, Ecuadorian, Venezuelan, Brazilian. They wanted your actual celular. And then on top of that, they had a camera and they would take a look right here. So we got a picture of your celular and take a picture of you. And that was it. 2 years
That's how
before
they-
that,
yeah.
2 years before that, I learned my lesson because I started putting on the Airbnb. Oh, how many guests? 2 guests. I'm going to be there. And then the owners was like, we got your passport, we got your documentation because it's all submitted through Airbnb, but you said 2 guests. We need your other guests. And I was like, well, I just said that. I got a couple of different friends. I don't know who's going to be there, whatever. It's like, yo, you put 2 guests. We need 2 IDs at the Airbnb. So I canceled it and resubmitted it as 1 guest. And then slowly I started seeing, yo, you could have 2 guests at the Airbnb. They got to show ID when they get there. But after the 3rd guest, now we're going to start charging you 100,000 pesos per night per guest. So yeah, it's going that way. And eventually, I want to be an owner of an apartment here in Medellin that while I'm in the States, I'll rent out as an Airbnb. Oh, I want my shit protected. Absolutely. If the building administration says, hey, all guests need to be registered with a proper ID, not a copy, I'm going to abide by that. I'm going to push for it, as a matter of fact. Yep, I agree with you 100%.
I kid you not. And Andre and I are heading in that direction as well, as far as business development and Airbnbs down here in Colombia. And the mistake that a lot of dudes going to be making, they're going to be mad at us because they're going to think, well, that's my boy Andre from the States. He cool. He gonna let a brother in with the ladies. He understand. And I'm going to say, listen, I can lose my Airbnb and might end up in a lawsuit if something goes wrong, a lawsuit with your family. If something goes wrong in my Airbnb, you my dog, you my boy, but I got to follow rules. I need 2 IDs, bruh. And I need 2 IDs in advance. That's the rules. Oh, Dre, you tripping. To where they wouldn't say that to a Colombian. A, they don't know Spanish. B, they realize all those are the rules. But when it comes to us being the Airbnb owner, they thinking that we're going to be the hookup. So we letting you guys know in advance. If you think that you're going to be getting a Airbnb from an American or somebody that's foreign like you are, and you're going to get the hookup, that's not going to happen. Nobody's going to sacrifice their business, whether they be a local or whether they be a foreigner that's buying into America, into Colombia, that's going to mess up their business because you want the hookup. So don't be coming to us expecting us to break the rules if you're going to support us as far as the Airbnbs. So if you got to have your 2 IDs, and the federal government, the federal government here in Colombia are saying to Airbnb hosts, you got to have these 2 IDs. If you're seeing 2 people, guys, it is what it is. These are the new rules. Y'all want to come down here? Yes. Y'all want to be on fuckery, right? Yes. These are the results that you get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, that's business. It's not personal. I got a homeboy back in New York, right? He does construction, and then part-time he does roofing and stuff like that. And he put out an Instagram post maybe like a year, 2 years ago. He was like, look, you'll go into the Gucci store, you'll go to the Versace store, and you'll spend $600-700 on sneakers and on the belt, $400 on the belt. Y'all ain't asking for a discount. But you want to come to me because we went to high school, say, hey, can you fix my roof and give me a good price on it? No, the price is the price. And friends and family need to understand that. This ain't charity. Like, this is a business. I'm trying to create something. You're not asking me designers in France for discounts. Would you? No. You want me to block off a week? Hey, nobody's rented the apartment. It's clear. It's free and clear on Airbnb calendar. I could block that week off for you for 3 days until you figure out if you're going to take it or not. You're not getting a deal on the price. I could block that off for you. I could hold it off for you for a couple of days, but don't ask me. And that's, man.
But
friends and family.
Why I brought that up, Jason, is as a lot of us foreigners are starting to come to invest in these countries, do realize we're investing in bars to barbershops to buildings. Do realize that it is a business that we're doing. So respect it as for what it is. It's a business. Let's go down to my man Dapper. I like what he said for the $5 super chat. He said, I have so much animosity for low life, male and female, stealing, robbing, scamming, murdering, hard-working, innocent people. It makes me sick, Andre. This statement that the Dapper made is the number one reason why street justice exists in Colombia. We ain't got no street justice in the States. We got, like, you watch it in the movie, like Batman, that's street justice. Superman and Wonder Woman and Catwoman, that's street justice to us. Colombia is real. If they catch you, man, listen, I've seen dudes run behind the police officers because they knew that if the mob gets me, if these group of people who I tried to rob get me, I tried to steal a woman's purse and they caught me, oh man, the beat down that they get, Colombians have no mercy for a thief. None. No.
And the one thing I really don't like, these are tough guys. These are so-called tough guys, right? They want to run up on women, mostly women, and take their phone or their pocketbook or whatever. But then when they do get caught by the street mob and they start hitting them, they start that fake ass crying. I hate that. Ja, no más. And then there's always like an old abuela. There's always like an old grandma that's like, nah, don't hit him no more. No, fuck that up. Hit him more. Because that's what they cry because they want you to stop hitting them. But you wasn't tough when you was trying to rob somebody that they worked, what, like we just previously talked about, a whole month of their salary. You wasn't tough then. I don't like that. But what I do like is I like a good one. You see them sometimes in Medellin. I see them in Cali, see them in Bogota when they strip them naked, strip them buck naked. They beat them and they take their drawers off of them. I like that because I just like, you just shame them.
Shame them. Absolutely. And if you've been down here long enough, guys, to see street justice, that's why you realize they don't need to have that many police like we have in the States. They don't need to have that many police because once that person is caught, there's nothing you can say. Anytime I've seen somebody caught, there was nothing they could say. It was guaranteed beat down. Dudes coming out of, I mean, if you get caught, dudes coming out of restaurants, people coming out of houses. I mean, everybody in on it. It's not just the person that got caught and the people next to him saw it, so he's getting beat down by them. No, I've seen people literally coming out of buildings and beating that person down for daring to rob a person who has very little. Let's go to the next one.
And that's the back, real quick, that's the background for what you were saying. Everyone in the community understands how hard they work. They understand that they don't like this crime. They don't like that in their community. So when they see it, everyone jumps in and, hey, let it be known. We're not tolerating that in this neighborhood. And hopefully eventually it gets pushed out of all neighborhoods. Sorry.
That's true. That's true. No. Great. That's a great analogy. Physical Poetry with the $5 super chat. He says, it is these. He said, this is these. He says, it's simple. These gentlemen don't respect the people's grind. They will remain victimized. Pookies always mess things up. Always. And some of you dudes some of the guys just, shout out to you, Physical Poetry. He's absolutely correct. Dudes will always somehow, some way mess it up because they get comfortable, they get lazy, they like Jason said, they get nervous, like the time clock, they put themselves on pressure. I'm only here 5 days and I got to run through 12 women. Because check it out, Jason, because I heard one of my boys say he was there for 4 days and he ran through 15 women. I'm gonna tell you something in all sincerity. I've been here as a single man, being here as a married man. Jason, I don't know if it's situation as far as dating, but I can say this. Not one time have I come to Colombia and ever put pressure on myself because of what another man did. No. Never. I never sat back and said, I need to run through 5. And if I don't run through 5, I had a bad vacation in Colombia. I'm never going back. I need to Some dudes come down here and they don't get no sex, and they have a phone book full of new women. So when the next time they come, now they got the women who are either interested in them or the women that's going to introduce them to some good women. Some dudes come down here just to get the connections first. Let me connect with some good dudes, some good taxi drivers, some good security guards, some good hostesses. They'll come down here in their first 1 or 2 trips just to get good connections. Now the connections introduce them to the good women. But all the thirsty dudes, they come down here in a rush, man. My boy said he came down here. Go ahead. Keep on messing with them beautiful bottom feeders. You will never get a chance to enjoy Colombia for what it is.
And that's called the vibes. It's called the vibes. I had nobody to pick me up from the airport when I got here in the beginning of October. So I got here in Medellin, hit an Uber. Guy came pick me up. Very chatty guy. Talked about his family, where I was from. Open, warm guy. Gave me his phone number. Hey, you ever need a taxi for a day? Whatever. That's you store them in your phone book. You add them. You got them there. Somebody always in the WhatsApp group chats. Hey, anybody got a drive in Medellin? I got a guy. He did me right. He didn't try to take advantage of me. Gringo price me. Nothing like that. Like you said, if you plan on visiting more than once, nothing got to pop off the first trip. You just collect your Rolodex, and then, hey, you go out on the date, and the chemistry wasn't there with you and her, but she's like, you know what? I got a cousin or I got a friend. And then now what you got is you got somebody that's vetted somebody else. And once again, that takes a little risk out of the equation. So yeah, no, don't put the pressure on yourself. If you came across Andre's channel, Ace's channel, somebody else's channel, and I guess if you plan on just coming once and done, then once again, now you're swimming in shark-infested waters, and you gotta take whatever consequence come your way. But if you plan on kind of construct something out here, don't put no pressure on you. Don't put no timeline on you. Make some genuine connections, because that's where you're gonna meet genuine people. These dating apps, Andre preach all the time, the Tinders and the Cupids and the you fishing in uncharted waters. But if you could get somebody that's been at their job at a construction company, or like I always say, I always try to chat up the bank tellers, right? Somebody working at the bank, they done been through their background check. They've been vetted. So
I was just every time I go to I'm gonna kid you not, Jay. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. We were just at the bank the other day. You know, they were showing me what my credit rating is in Colombia, and then they were showing me how to extend my credit next year, right?
Nice.
And every time I go to the bank, I see all these attractive women behind the counter, and I kid you not, I just keep on thinking, these dudes don't never show interest into these women. And you're right, to work at a bank or to work in the medical field, your background has already been checked out anyway. To be a school teacher, your background has been checked out. A lot of these corporate women, their background has been checked out. I kid you not. But you guys do not show these women love. Why? Well, she worked too much. You don't need a person to be up under you 24/7 anyway. You're supposed to be enjoying her, or maybe 1 or 2, and enjoying the city during the rest of your time. What you come to Colombia for? Just for the women? Bruh, that's how you get caught up. If you come to, I'm gonna say this for real. If you come to Colombia just for women in this top 5 most beautiful countries in the world, and you're not enjoying these countries, or like Jason just mentioned earlier, because they do this in Cali too, the free salsa lesson, the free cooking classes, the free this, the free that, where you can meet people in Colombia, and you're not taking advantage of that while she's at work, you fucking up. Because when I first got down here, Andrea was working full time, bro. Like I said, she'd make breakfast and she'd make lunch before she left at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I wouldn't see Andrea again till like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's how we started. I didn't need somebody that was all up under me because I could go enjoy the rest of the city while Andrea is at work doing her thing. I kid you not, that's exactly how I did it. But you guys want somebody that could be on call. What you doing right now, girl? Bring your sexy ass over right now. And she come over. Why? She ain't got no job. She ain't got no bank accounts. She ain't got no responsibilities, but maybe her 1 or 2 kids, and that's it. And you love it because you here for 5 days. Brothers, y'all setting yourselves up. I kid you not. I kid you not.
Yep. And that's how you become what they say, the amigo billetero. You become the wallet friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to my man Richards. He said, thank you, gentlemen. He said, women who work at the airport, at the airlines. Come on now.
Absolutely.
They speak several languages. Dudes do not holler at these women. Bruh. Even at the club, the hostess, last night, me and my boy went out. We went out. Y'all still trying to holler at the women in the club. My boy's like, he said, Dre, that's the one I'm going to get tonight. He said, I'm going to get her number tonight. And she walked up, you know, they were kind of eye flirting the whole time she was working. And they bought the club to close the club. She just so happened to be standing there by herself. And as he was walking towards her, she looked me in the eye, and I gave her the, go on, take care of that girl. Go on, give me your number. And she caught on to what I'm saying with my eyes. So they started a conversation because she was kind of flirting with him the whole night anyway, making sure us Americans were good. But I knew she was kind of flirting too. They exchanged numbers. To be the hostess of the club, you got to have clearance. You can't just be some regular everyday chick off the street, addicted to this, addicted to that, and somebody gonna make you a hostess of their business.
Right.
If these women y'all gotta start paying attention to. Fuck them beautiful broke chicks. It's beautiful chicks that's trying to come up too in a positive way. You guys are overlooking them. The female security guards at the hotels. The female security guards.
Can I add one on that?
Go ahead, Jay.
Here in Medellin, you know, we go out to eat to the malls. Sometimes I go by myself. Sometimes I go with friends. But in the U.S., the malls, you kind of like, you finish eating, you take your tray, you take it to the trash and throw it. Here in Colombia, they have mostly women. They come around, they clean the tables. You leave your thing. I don't want to say I necessarily flirt with them, but I always speak to them. I always say hello. I always say thank you. Sometimes if I have my tray and I say, where can I put this? They'll say, leave it on the table or put it there. And a lot of them are cute. But because their job is to clean tables, I feel like so many people, like, they don't see them. I always make it key to say hello, to say thank you. And who knows where that's going to go from there. And a lot of them are cute.
I got a partner. He came down here to Cali and he started dating the front desk chick at the gym. Because she always at work. She was always there as he was coming in and out. They struck up conversation. She really liked him. She wasn't one of the regular gym girls. And he knew that this was her job. I know dudes that holler at trainers. I know. What's my point? These women have something. So they're not about to sit up there and lose their job to drug you for your little cell phone. They're not about to, and just think about the story that we're talking about. Hey guys, we're gonna take the time out again to watch DC Rob's video one more time. And in this incident, these women are so bold that these guys have trained these women to put their thing up in them dudes now. He walked in with a woman, grown man. Walked in with a woman. Somehow, some way, she got him in a position, whether they was kissing, and she put that thing up in him, or whatever it was. Somehow, some way, she got him to where she could just bam in the back, in the neck. Just think about what I'm going to be graphic for a second, guys. In all sincerity, just think about that scene. How heartless that you've had to be trained, how much experience that she's had to be able to put that thing in somebody, sit there and watch all the blood squirt out and ain't blink. went through your pockets, grabbed your stuff, they said she left with a bag. Put your stuff in while you are squirting all over the walls, all over the floor. While you like this, she ain't flint. She's stepping over your body, taking your wallet, your watch, your colognes, your little brand new Jordans that you brought down here. All that's gone. Your computer, all of it's gone while you are bleeding out on the floor. Just imagine the scene. We kind of like look at this headline like, oh, wow, that's sad. Another person died. No, let's look at it as it was happening. Put in your imagination as it was unfolding. Woof, she got him. You like this. It's all
get real. Arterial spray on the wall. Get real graphic with it. Because he got nieces and nephews and aunts and uncles and sisters in the States. Get real. They need to understand that could be you.
Easily.
If you one bad decision away from that.
Easily. In a place that he thought was the safest place other than Disney.
And his hotel, past reception, past the elevator.
Yep. She walked past everybody without flinching, as if nothing happened. She wasn't nervous looking. Just imagine, bruh. Let's look at this. Shout out to my man, Azita. He says, it's Colombianas that work in customer service that are fine. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. A lot of them that work in those kiosks, they be fine. A lot of them that you go to buy your jersey, those Adidas stores, the sports stores, they be fine.
But before you get back to Rob's video, just to go off what Zeta was saying, if you get up 4 a.m. every morning, Monday through Saturday, go to work 12, 13 hours, and you cute, but you see these scallywags out in Parque Jettas selling their body, street meat. I'd imagine you look sometimes in the mirror and be like, I don't got it. No, you got it, baby. You got it. You ain't the right man yet. You got it. You got to value yourself. You're hardworking. You're working 6 days a week. You're doing your thing. It must be difficult to look at these chicks going to the Jettas, selling their body, and yet maybe making a million, making $1 million pesos a night, but at what cost? You don't want to be part of that life. And if any of y'all in here, you see my Instagram. I'm single. I'll invite you out for a carrot cake and a cappuccino.
So true. So true. Somebody said that we're looking kind of blurry. I'm trying to make sure that we're on point.
Okay.
Give me a second. Thanks, guys, for giving us a headline. Maybe we're looking a little better now. Let me know. Shout out to Jay Fleming in the building and my man Frank also for being here. Thank you for the $5 super sticker. SC, I think SC South Carolina. Let me know what SC stands for. Shout out to you, brother, for the support. Jermon is in the building. He said, don't be shocked if these were gang initiations. That's a good one. That's a good point, because I've heard that lately. That's a good point. Do not be shocked if those are gang initiations. That's a really good point. Let's get ready to watch once again the DC Rob video, because we pull that up once again for us.
Let
me move my man Jermon out of the way for a second and then bring the video back to the beginning. This is DC Rob video on the person that got deleted yesterday. We got 140 people in the live stream, 145 people in the live stream. Make sure we click the like button, guys. Appreciate you. Here we go.
Breaking news.
Oh, my fault.
Another American found dead in Poblado in Medellin, Colombia, this time from stab wounds. In a hotel in Poblado, they found a foreigner dead with stab wounds. The incident occurred in a hotel in the Astorga del Poblado neighborhood. According to the preliminary information, the man entered the hotel located in the Astorga del Poblado neighborhood in the early morning of November 11th with a woman. Hours later, the woman came out with a bag. On the afternoon of November 11th, Hudson was found dead inside his place. The man had multiple stab wounds. Let me show you the neighborhood on a map, and then I'll meet you on the other side. This is even got the Sweet Georgia Cafe in it, all the way down to Exitos on 10, down to the Metro train. I stayed in one of those highlighted areas. So, yeah. Okay, so there you go. You see, this is close. This is close to Parque Poblado, close to everything. I mean, obviously, it's dangerous there. I'm still going to go. But again, I'm not out late at night bringing a chick back to the place. It's just, it's not going to happen. And if I were to ever to do that, it surely wouldn't be now. There will be war in the streets and guys will still go. So since I get that, I will still report the news. You know the rules of the game. Everybody slips. And again, not to be preachy, but once you've had a drink or two, you're not the same. I will be watching and paying attention, but it's unfortunate for the families. Again, I tell you guys, it's not just you. It's not just you. You're a father, you're a brother, you're a cousin, you're a son, you're a friend, you're a best friend. It's not just you. So you have to think about other people too.
Absolutely correct. I want to hear what you have to say about this statement by my man Kenny Peoples. Shout out to Kenny in the building. Kenny's always showing support. Kenny makes a statement in regards to you might need a bodyguard, diplomatic security agent. He might be now. Kenny might be facetious, or he may be serious. I personally think for a person to have to come to a country, you need bodyguard, don't go to that country. A. B. A security guard can't do much for you if you're taking the chick back to your Airbnb. What, he gonna stand over you while you having sex with her? You're gonna eventually go in that bedroom and close that door and it's just you and her. What are he gonna do by the time you bleeding out? What can he do after she done threw that thing up in you 3-4 times real fast? What your security guard gonna do? Call the police? He gonna wrangle down the girl? You bleeding out. If she tells him, I give you 300,000 pesos to let it slide, and she give your security guard 300,000 pesos to let it slide so she can just take all your stuff. Do realize, I've seen dudes talk that security talk, but I want to hear what Jason has to say about it as well.
Yeah, I agree with you saying 100%. Ain't much he gonna be able to do for you, he or she, right? Security guard, like you said, you could say, hey, bro, stay right here in the living room. Don't let her leave. Like you said, once that bedroom door closed, and there's a whole toolbox of things she could hit you with. The diazepam, scolopamine, or like with this guy, succumb to some stab wounds to the neck.
Multiple,
and then threw a sheet on top of him or something like that. And then most likely you paid him up front for his security services. You already gone. He like, well, I could get an extra 300 on top for letting her just walk out. Let's go. Oh yeah, when we back, he was asleep. He was in the bed. That's wild. Like, okay, I'm about to go to this country, but I need like personal security to go to this country. So why are you going there, sir?
Thank you.
Whole lot of places you could go.
Absolutely. If you got to go through all that dance of got to get top flight security of the world, Craig. If you got, yeah, if you got to hire, see what I'm saying, top flight of the security of the world, he said that's why patience is a virtue. You'll find a wonderful woman. Yes, you would. In clubs and randomly outside. So, guys, there are so many places where you can meet some good women, without a doubt. Shout out to my man Tico Negro. Thanks for the gems you're dropping and support your show, or the support you show me. Thank you for the $5 super chat, brother. I appreciate that, man. And that's what Jason and I are trying to do, is by being veterans on both sides of the country. We've been to me and Jason combined, we've been to at least 40 cities, 45 cities throughout Colombia. So don't think we're just guys that one or two cities. Jason's been here in Colombia since 2003. He's basically got family here. So at the end of the day, when he's been around coming to Colombia long enough to see the evolution. Long before there was an Ace Live, long before there was a Passport Heavy Jabril, long before there was a Marwa, long before there was Andre, there was Jason and other guys like him. I just met two guys this weekend that have two brothers that have been living in Cali for 25 years.
Wow.
25 years, man. Good dudes, man. Really good dudes. So you can live in these countries and live a great life and not be a part of the rigmarole. And then I saw the other brother. He's right around my age, like 55. I'm 56. He's 55. But bruh, his woman, super gorgeous chocolate sister, sweet as can be. Great couple. Great couple. He said, I came down here. I didn't know initially no Spanish. He said, of course, after 25 years, I know Spanish. He said, I'm having a great life here in Cali, Colombia. Good dude. Both guys were great. Absolutely. Another guy been down here 25 years. The other guy, he had been doing construction here, as far as like taking his monies that he was making in the States and actually buying properties throughout Colombia. He said, man, I used to own bars, clubs, restaurants, sporting centers, all this down here in Colombia. So there are guys that have been down here for quite a while, longer than us and longer than you. So realize, take advantage of some of these gems that we are dropping today, because I kid you not, we learned a lot of our gems by experience and by the experience of those that were boots on the ground prior to us. Let's get ready to go to number 6. Number 5, actually. And that is where guys take for granted their budget and the currency exchange. You think you are balling because your $100 is now have the buying power of $400. Your what you may be considered next to nothing, like these coins in this jar, you may consider it next to nothing, but somebody is willing to rob you for for a few of these coins, just for a few of these coins. So don't take for granted the budget that you have. If you set your budget at $2,000 for that week, keep it at that. Don't be overspending on these ladies. Do not be. Jason, can you confirm? It's rare that I see Colombian men buying women drinks.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you take a breath, take a drink. Stay humble. Please stay humble. Okay. What I want to say is, I was just talking about it in your WhatsApp group. Andrew's WhatsApp group, I was talking about it before the show came on. I think a lot of it has to do with the currency exchange. You could be a minimum wage worker working at Walmart or Target. Janitorial. Maybe your job is to every 2 hours, go in the bathroom and mop up the piss off the floor. With that job, you make enough to come out here to Colombia and live well for a week or two. And as soon as you go through customs and they stamp your passport, something go to your head. I got dollars. I'm Big Willie. And you want to throw money in the club. Or you want to showboat because, yes, your minimum salary job, mopping piss off the floor at the Target bathroom, may pay more than a construction foreman here in Colombia. It may pay more than a cashier at the Éxito. And you want to floss, you want to front and buy drinks for women, or just start doing something stupid like throwing dollars or 2,000 or 5,000 pesos. It gets your head inflated really quick. Because what that's going to do is going to attract the attention, good and bad. It's going to attract some women to come to your shoulder and whisper sweet, sweet nothings in your ear because they want more of that. Well, first of all, this simp got dollars. This simp is all about losing his dollars. A fool and his money is easily parted. All they got to do is whisper some shit in your ear. But then now you got a lot of green-eyed locals looking at you like, okay. That's a whole nother show, Dre, you're gonna have to do with the price of rents and apartments and how the locals feel like they're getting displaced because of you know.
That's true. That's true. Exactly what you're talking about.
So they kind of look at there has to be a boogeyman. Who's the scapegoat? It's very easy to say, oh, the Americans. The Americans are coming down here paying double what the rent is for where my mama used to live. And now my mama had to move to a bad neighborhood. So I'm all opposed to gringos moving here. Oh, yeah. You could come for a week, stay in a hotel, and then just get the hell out. But don't be moving here, displacing us, right? So, and I went on the exit ramp. Okay, back to what you were saying.
I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah. But they looking for a boogeyman. The Americans the boogeyman. So don't give them any more reason. They already got that with the rent. Like, gratefully, in my building, I'm not the doorman, the neighbors, everybody's cool with me. They understand. I'm not controlling the prices. Hey, if I can afford the rent, I can afford it. That's capitalism. That's fucking. You take that up with the government to stop them from doing price gouging, or you take that up with the actual owner of the unit and say, hey, why you, never mind. But yeah, no. But yeah, it's a lot of that, right? Because you can't be the fry guy at McDonald's. And that's an old joke. I don't know if it was Chris Rock or Eddie Murphy. You could be a woman working at McDonald's, and if you fly enough, the guy in line gonna ask you for your number.
Chris Rock,
right? Because you look good enough. But if you the cashier at McDonald's and you try to ask a chick that's, first of all, chick, you here at McDonald's ordering a number 2. If you try to ask her for her number, she's gonna be like, boy, please, you work at McDonald's. Like, I'm not giving you my number. But it don't matter how bad you are. If you work at McDonald's, if you bad, they're gonna ask you for your number, right? So what I want to say is you could be that guy making minimum wage at a fast food restaurant, but even with that, you got enough money to come out here and throw down on a bottle and buy drinks, and that's gonna get you the attention you want. It goes to your head, and then even if you had a budget, I'm only gonna spend $100 a day. I'm gonna spend about 300,000 pesos a day. Oh yeah, you get that chick whisper, you get a whisper in your ear. You gonna blow that budget.
That's true. That's so true. You're gonna blow that budget. Chaos Reign, shout out to him. Chaos Reign Show. Make sure you guys subscribe to his brother's channel. always doing some great live streams. He has a good question for us. He said, what is the violent rate in Colombia? Andrea love crossing borders. I don't necessarily know the number. I know Colombia ranks, I think Colombia ranks as far as violent countries in like the top, I think it's like top 30 violent countries. I think Colombia is kind of like, yeah, I think in the top 30s, right? Like 37, 38, right? Because I just so happened to be looking at it a couple weeks ago. That's why I know what you're talking about. But do realize this, just like the States, I'm going to say this again, just like the States, most of Colombia on Colombians violence happens in isolated locations, in pockets, in the hood. Not every area of Detroit is dangerous. Just certain areas are more dangerous than others. Not all of New York is dangerous. Certain areas of a neighborhood is dangerous. Not all of Miami is dangerous. Certain areas of Miami is dangerous. So, but when you sit back and you have crimes happening in that particular pocket, they blame the whole city, all of Detroit. They don't isolate that to East Side Detroit. They sit back and say Detroit is dangerous. They say East St. Louis is dangerous instead of just saying no, certain regions of a particular city or location is dangerous. So it is with Colombia. Most of Cali is not full of dangerous people. Most of the people in Cali are not dangerous. That's why I'm at peace driving around here during the day or even sometimes at night. But I don't feel it because I know I don't go to those isolated pockets. So I have less of a chance to go through things such as what Jason is saying. But I want to hear what your answer is in regards to this, Jason. Good question, Chaos. What is the violent rate in Colombia?
Yeah, once again, this is one of those questions where I feel like I don't got to say much. You said everything that was necessary. Once again, speaking specifically for Medellin, what do they call it? Feminist side? Like that's when like a lover kills the woman, the girlfriend. A lot of that this year in 2023 Medellin. I think I lost count. There's a lot of jealous, insecure men that have killed girlfriends in Medellin, in Antioquia, right? So, and it's always the same story. Oh, he didn't want her to have a social media thing. He didn't want her to have a Facebook or Instagram or whatever, or he found her in a bar. I've seen a lot of that. And they keep saying the same thing here in Medellin, like ni una más, like not one more. They don't want one more woman to get killed by their boyfriend or lover because they were jealous. I've seen a lot of that. I've seen also people want to talk about, I got off the phone with my mom like a few hours ago. They always say the same thing, be safe down there. I said, Ma, you saw what happened in Maine last week? You know, they killed 18 people in Maine. I was here 2 years ago. The guy in Buffalo killed 12 people at the supermarket.
Deleted.
Oh,
you want to say deleted for YouTube?
Sorry. Yes. On a live, turn their movie off. They turned their movie off. Right? Everything we see is a movie. They turned the movie off. I'm worried. I said, Mom, I'm worried about you. Those people in Buffalo went to the supermarket to get eggs for breakfast or pancake mix or freaking dog food for the dog and got their movie turned off. These people in Maine was out at a bowling alley, bowling, having a good time. Movie turned off. Screen blink. That don't happen here in Colombia. Yeah, every once in a while I see something on the news. Oh, there's 3 or 4 bodies found in a ditch outside of Copacabana or somewhere here outside of Medellin. Those were people. Listen, God bless the dead. They were involved in some ish.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody,
That's normally how it is. Yep.
ain't nobody walking around just unaliving people for nothing.
That's
That
true.
ain't victim blame. That ain't victim blaming. That just saying, hey. But I always find it weird when they're like, yo, be safe out there. And I'm like, I am very well down here in Colombia. I promise you that. Really, outside of the rent, which spiked a little bit, food is prices are still low. Uh, I'm saving more money living here than I am in New York. So, you know, it's yeah, that crime with the feminicide, which is husbands or boyfriends killing their girlfriends, big spike in that, and that's just insecurity. That's people just being really jealous. Um, Robberies, yeah, they're up. There's stuff you should do to minimize that happening to you here in Medellin, but robberies are up. That is a fact, and then that's some of the things I mentioned. Not using a street access ATM, no jury. Like you really got to go to the basics. And then I feel like when we come into this time of year, holiday,
Yep.
there's
The holidays.
added pressure on families to provide gifts for the kids. And also, the traditions, the 24th, we need a new outfit. The 31st, we need a new outfit. Estrenad. And people that's coming here should know that, especially if you're not frequent tourists here to Medellin or Colombia, just understand. Which you think you can imagine. Yeah, it's Christmas time. You got kids, right? You want to feed them. You want to have a nice dinner. You want to have presents for them. So they're trying to scams. You get the pictures of the empty refrigerator. You get the picture of I got a IV in my arm, and oh, that's my dad.
Most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, right. Because they want to donate a donation, donación. And then if that doesn't work, there are some that will result to setting you up, or crazy as this article we're talking about, a woman putting a bladed object into someone's neck multiple times to get their stuff so she could sell it and buy clothes for her kid. Understand all that. You got it.
Yep, you're 100% correct. And shout out to Chaos Reigns for that question. Good question, brother. Let me get to these brothers with the other super chats. My man Black Bat Designers in the building with the $5 love. Sorry I'm late, coach. Been a little busy lately. Life and getting older is catching up with me. Got to get that sleep in. Sound like me. Life is catching up with you, get a little older. Salute to the chat. Shout out to you, brother, with the super chat. I'm gonna come back to you, Chris, in a second, but I'm going to D-Mac in the building, looking cool and smooth with it. Once again, if any of you guys in the comment section know of any AI links or websites to where I can make better thumbnails using AI, because I see all these other YouTubers with some great AI thumbnails, but I cannot find a good one for me. So if you guys know of any good AI websites or apps, let me know. Put it in the comment section. Appreciate that.
His joint is food. That's like 1920s Chicago mafia era type joint.
Chicago mobsters. That's what he got.
Right.
Yeah. For the $20 super chat, he says the difference between the violence in America and the violence in other countries. People in America will delete you because you are wearing the wrong colors. That's one thing that we do in America. You are mean mugging them. Yes. What you looking at? They'll do that in the United States. He said, I don't find that in countries around the world. He's 100% correct. Some of the reasons why we delete people in the United States is just the craziest reasons why we delete. There will be so many people alive if we just calculated why did that person even delete them for no reason at all. Just walked into a church, walked into an Amish school, walked into, like, what is walking into an Amish school full of kindergartners gonna do for you? Why would you walk in there and delete little kid? You see what I'm saying? I never understood that about Americans, about how we delete with such ease some of the most innocent people. Grandma in church. Grandma ain't done nothing but live life and made it to be a grandma. And now now you come to her church and delete her, and she's 87 years old. Little things like that I never understood about the states and how we handle ourselves. But back to what's going on here in Colombia. The next thing, we're down to the last two, number 6 and 7. Number 6 and 7 on the list of things that individuals make the mistake of, especially foreigners. These 7 mistakes that you make when you come to Colombia. Jason already alluded to it already. You do not take advantage of the advice that you get and the examples that you see. Jason and I doing this whole live stream. We're going to just kind of skim past this one, Jason, since we already hit it. Doing this live stream, we've been talking about examples of the type of women that are working in certain positions that you need to be talking to. But y'all still going to go looking for somebody up under the clock tower in Cartagena. You still going to try to go down to whatever location in Medellin or in Bogota to look for the ladies of the night. You don't take advantage of the advice you're getting. Take advantage of that advice. We will not lead you astray. I kid you not. We do not lead you astray. The next thing is the examples. Jason, Black Men's Travel, Aaron, Ace Live, Passport Heavy Jabril, Flyboy Way. All these men have been examples of how to carry yourself in Colombia. Marwa have been examples. You don't hear us talk about, I got robbed yesterday. I got this yesterday. Dudes didn't like me because I was a Black American and I got into a fight. You don't hear us talk like that because we try our best to set good examples of what it's like to be here in South America for most of us. For most of us that's traveling, there is a difference between the passport bros and the passport pookies. So we're just going to skim past that one. Let's go to the last one. We're going to go through the list again. First mistake guys are making, they make some mistakes when they're traveling solo by not letting somebody know, or if you're in a group, you're following what the crowd says. Stop doing that. Be your own man. Number 2, when to hang out. Some of you dudes hang out at night too dang much. I'll say it again. You just need to start enjoying Colombia in the daytime as well. If only time you take your butt out that apartment or Airbnb is at night, you're doing it wrong. Number 3, what she is and who she is. Dude, if she a woman that ain't got no job or nothing, and she just a party girl that you met, 9 times out of 10, you can get got. Number 4, your surroundings. Do not be bringing women back to your Airbnb or your hotel room that you know that you do not know anything about. That's going to haunt you. Number 5, don't get comfortable with breaking your budget. If you told yourself, you know what, I'm coming down here for a week, I'm coming down here for I'm going to put it like this. If you come into Colombia for a week and you blow through $2,000, you already paid for your flight, you already paid for your Airbnb. If you got your ass in Colombia for a week, come on, Jay, and they burned through $2,000, and I know dudes that have done it.
Me too.
Yeah. So let's go to number 6 once again, is make sure you take advantage of your advisors and make it as well as the examples, the positive examples that are out there. Number 7 thing that dudes take for granted when they are traveling is this: your life and your ego. You cannot have them both. I'm gonna say this again: your life and your ego, you cannot bring them both on the plane with you. Which one are you going to take? Either you're going to get on that plane with your life and get off that plane with your life and get back on that plane with your life, or you going to get off that plane with your ego and you might not get back on that plane at all. Your ego, the number one thing that I see that dudes get deleted by way of your ego. Fuck what DC Rob talking about. That's what your ego said. Fuck what Jason is saying. Don't bring gold and you don't need all them fancy shoes. Just make sure you got clean shoes. Fuck what Jason's saying. Andre and Andrea's from here. I've been here. And at the end of the day, you still tell us, fuck you, because that's what your ego says every time. And the more that you come down to Colombia, and Jason can attest to this, the more your ego will tell you shit that you think you know. Well, I've been to Medellin 15 times. I've been to Medellin for almost 14 years. You're the easiest lick because your ego tells you to let your guard down. Let me let Jason go ahead and speak on that.
Yep, 100%. And that's what they say. That's complacency. Complacency will get you killed. Will get you deleted, unalive. That's complacency. You think you know better. Times is changing. They're ever changing. And really just humble yourself. That's it. It's really so simple when you think about it. Don't let your ego write a check that your behind can't cash.
True.
Come out here, enjoy the good weather, the good food, enjoy the money ratio, enjoy the currency ratio, enjoy that, take advantage of it, absolutely. But humble yourself. That's really it. That is, it's so simple when you want to break it down. But you start thinking, I've been out here 3, 4, 5 times. I know what it is. And you don't understand. Some of these people are plotting against you. And that could be the waiter or whoever, but just I don't gotta talk too much. Dre covers all the bases, so here I am. I'm looking to say something extra. He's covered everything.
I got a question for you from a man Sherwin. He says, "Big up, Jason." He say, "How much of a problem is organized crime being tied into the locals?"
My first time here, as Andre mentioned, was in 2003. I just got back from the war in Iraq. And I remember it was November. I remember it was crazy because they were shooting fireworks off for Christmas. And I kept jumping and everyone kept laughing at me. This is my best friend's family. The cousins, they were laughing. Like, oh, I was like, yo, you don't understand. Like 3 weeks ago, I was in Iraq and explosions was not a good thing. The closest we on a live. I haven't really been exposed to any mafia or any kind of that stuff out here in Medellin. There was one time where I was kind of, I don't know, maybe neighbors to like a group of people that seemed like they were organized, but I don't see it, and I don't think any regular tourist is gonna see it. They're pretty good at keeping that stuff closed off and stuff like that. So if that makes sense, yeah. There's still, yeah, believe me, it's still Medellin. There's still groups and things out here. I haven't really seen it, and that's what 2003 to 2024. Now we're talking 20 years. Haven't really seen it. Haven't been exposed to it. And I've been out to nightclubs in Poblado and Parque Jettas and Las Palmas, all over Medellin. Um, yeah,
Me either. Not even here in Cali. It's one of those things, just like the criminal element in the States, that if you're not a part of it, you really are oblivious
you
to it.
don't see it.
You don't see it. Most of us have heard about the underground movements of mafia throughout all of our major cities, but I don't know no mafia dudes in Detroit or dudes that know mafia dudes in New York or Chicago. Why? We're not a part of that everyday element. So statistically, from what I noticed, most people are not a part of that. It really is. It will amaze you. Just like in the United States, the true criminal element is a small group of U.S. citizens.
Very small.
So it is here in Colombia. Throughout South America, actually, it is not everybody else. The other 98%, and I could put that number out there like that. They did a statistical analysis of pay for play here in Colombia. Colombia has over 21 million women, adult women. Did you guys know that of the adult women here in Colombia, that there are only 500,000 women, and that's a stretch, 500,000 women in the pay-for-play field. Now, you might find your little part-time pay-for-play girls here and there. Let's even push it up to 1 million. Let's say it's 1 million women throughout Colombia that actually are in some form of pay-for-play. That's still not the majority of the 21 million women here. That's still not the majority, guys. So when we sit back and we let you know that what we're talking about, this discussion, this topic that we're talking about in regards to what happened to this man with the deletion and getting stabbed, most Colombians won't even know about this headline. They'll look at it on the app, oh, another American, and they'll just go about their business because it's not a part of the regular everyday politics of life. And we try to make it seem like it's larger than what it is to Colombians. It's just large to us tourists. Am I correct, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely correct. Yeah, to the average, typical Colombian citizen, they're not insensitive. They don't care because it doesn't affect them. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, they get up at 4 or 5 in the morning. They go to work. They come home. Like back in the States, back in New York, I'd go grocery shopping on Sunday, and I buy groceries for the week. I get a big ass thing of chicken breast, maybe some ribs, some ground beef, pasta sauce, bacon, eggs, butter, bread, all that. A lot of the Colombians, they do that daily. They can't shop. They don't have it to shop for the week. So they go to work 4 a.m. They get out 3 p.m. Hit the market. They'll get eggs, couple of arepas, some arroz, carne, right, and that's it. They not. I don't want to say caring. They. It's just not okay. Couple of gringos got deleted out here. Well, what were they doing? Where were they at? You know, stuff like that. So,
correct.
Yeah.
We got a couple of questions in regards to Cali. My man Paul, he has a question. Is Hotel Spywalk a good hotel to stay in? Hotel Spywalk is an excellent hotel to stay in Cali, Colombia. It's right down the street. Literally. It's connected literally to Chipichape Mall. It's connected to the mall. You have gym memberships with a major gym that's inside the mall. You also have its sister across the street from it. So if you're like, I don't want to spend $80, $90 per day on a hotel room. Their sister is right. I forget the name of it. Is right across the street. So literally, so Spywalk is one of my favorite hotels down here in Cali, Colombia. Excellent restaurant. Andrea took me there last year for my birthday. We had lunch and dinner there for my birthday last year. So they have great food. Like I said, it's connected to the mall. It is out here in Parque Norte, right here, Chippy Choppy area. So it's all us brothers are always out here hanging out, because all of us kind of basically stay in this area out north, many of us. And so, yeah, it's an excellent hotel. If it were me and I was coming to Cali, Colombia, I kid you not, with my experience, that would be the hotel that I would stay in. I kid you not. If Andre and I were not living here, and let's say we're living in Europe and we're coming back to visit family, that would be the hotel where I would stay in. Reason why I wouldn't stay in Intercontinental and I wouldn't stay in the Marriott, not because they're bad hotels, because they're really nice, but they're geographically located in downtown Cali and ain't nothing there. Once the sun go down, okay, you went to the cat park across the street, you took a couple of photos with the cats, now you're looking like, ain't nothing over here but the zoo. I went to the zoo twice, okay. There's nothing by the Intercontinental. There's nothing by the Marriott, even though those are nice areas. But the Spywalk, that's why that would be my go-to, because it's only another thing. It's only it's only a 25-minute ride from the airport. Is like I said, it's right down the street. And I'm not talking about like way down the street. I'm talking about it's like 4 blocks away, and it's connected to Chippy Choppy Mall. The other reason why I like Spywalk is because it's not out south. I love the south. It's beautiful out south, but it'd be an hour and 15-minute ride from the airport to get out south. And then out south, everything is spread out. You need an Uber to get to the grocery store. It's beautiful, but it's just nothing is in walking distance. Spywalk, you can walk to the gym, you can walk to all the restaurants, you can walk to a bar, you can walk to the clubs, you can walk to Home Center, which is their version of Home Depot and Lowe's. You can walk to all that's inside of the malls. It's two malls connected to each other. You have Chippy Choppy Mall right here. You have Spywalk Hotel literally connected to Chippy Choppy Mall. There's a walking plank or just a walking area that you will walk. As soon as you get done walking, you're inside a Pacific Mall. This is the first time I've ever seen this. 2 major malls connected to each other. And so you have that. So the movie theaters are over there. Chippy Choppy Movie Theater, Pacific Coast Movie Theater. Pacific Coast Mall or Pacific Co. That mall has really great restaurants as well. But also inside of that mall, there is like their version of Nordstrom's and Macy's, those large box stores. That's what's in that mall over there, the large box stores. And so that's what's over there in that mall. A lot of dudes come down, they just basically just hang out in the mall, meet so many women. They like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to do today. Let me go hang out in the mall. In the mall, they got the gym. I can get my nails done. I can get a manicure, pedicure, and a massage in the mall. So everything is there inside of Chippy Choppy Mall and Pacific Coast Mall. And right in the middle of it is the Spywalk Hotel. So yeah, and it's really not expensive. So definitely, if you're coming to Cali, Colombia, I would highly, highly recommend that hotel. That's my favorite one as far as the geographical location, security. Top, hey, you ain't coming in now that month. That one there, nah. Man, they got security guards that watch the security guards. They are great. They are 100% professional. 100% is beautiful. It's professional, but it's like when you get ready to walk in, they got like a rope, and the security guard standing right there. And if you can't validate who you know in that hotel, and you ain't got no ID, you ain't getting past that little rope thing that the first security guard got. Ain't no just walking in, like when Andre took me out to, and I'm kind of like rambling on this hotel, but it's really good as far as safety and far as the geographical location. Andrea took me for my birthday. We had to let them know we got reservations here for lunch. You ain't got no reservations. You ain't just wandering into that hotel. No. And when you get there, you see a lot of foreigners in that hotel because of where it's geographically located, and it's a really nice hotel, nice high-rise hotel. So yeah, shout out to you guys. And that answers the question my brother asked. He said, do you guys have any good apps to where I can find a hotel or hotels with security that holds the Chica ID? They not only hold the ID, they're taking a photocopy of that ID. When I invite a guest, I plan to traveling to Cali. They'll take a photo of her ID. I promise you. So believe me, I've taken dudes there plenty of times, and that's what Skywalk do. In any major hotels like the Marriott, like the Hyatt, like the like Holiday Inn down here, like the Intercontinental, all of those hotels are definitely, and even regular hotels are taking IDs now. That's your regular everyday Colombian location here in Cali. They're asking for her ID. She is not going to get in without her ID and them taking a photo of it. So definitely that's good information. And like I said, my favorite is Skywalk. He said, Black by Design says, he said, I think that if you don't look at it, you'll never see it. Talking about the criminal elements. You always get what you're looking for. True. If you put yourself in those situations. So if you walk in that type of elements, you're going to start coming across those type of people. But as for me, not once, because I don't walk in that world.
Same here.
So true. Okay. We'll say Afro National says exactly. And I know Paul was asking about the Skywalk, but yeah, you'll like the Skywalk a lot, bro. He said, thanks for that information. I plan on visiting Cali in March, and I just got back from Panama City. I like Panama. Victory says 8 days. Yeah, Victory was there. Yep. Thanks, Vic. He said $400 for 8 days. Yeah, Vic was just there last year. Yep. Or earlier this. Was it earlier this year, Vic? Because you know how time goes. But yeah, the sister hotel. Oh yeah, thanks, Lo. Victory. Victory was at the sister hotel across the street. That's the name of the spirit. So if you don't want to be at the Spy Walk, and they got security. The sister across the street is a little less. It's as expensive because it doesn't have the restaurant and everything. You have to come across the street to the Spy Walk if you want to go to the restaurant. But yes, it's $35 to $40 a night. Really nice high rise. They just opened it up over the last 3 years. That building was sitting there forever, and they finally went ahead and opened it up. So now they own both sides of the street.
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, that's a real. I just forgot what the sister name was. That's the name of Spy Walk Spirito. That's right. And I forgot, Vic. You're right. You were across the street at the sister for all those days. Theo said 3 people passed on or deleted in Austin. Don't be thinking that the U.S. is safe. Yeah. The other thing that I want to mention, guys, that you guys will hear quite often about Colombia is femicide. Femicide is any crime that is done against a female. In the United States, we have ours broken down into separate categories. This is rape. This is domestic violence. This is, whatever it is, whether they're attacking women, whether it be verbally or whether it be, coming against their civil rights. We have ours separating categories. Colombia and other countries have it under one umbrella called femicide. So any crime that's done against a female means she can't defend herself because you are physically more masculine, more male. Any attacks against women is up under the umbrella femicide. So just in case you guys hear that term, and Jason was just talking about it, that's what that is. Instead of breaking it up into categories like we do in the States, all they do is just put it under one umbrella and say that was femicide. And a lot of times femicide does happen in Colombia, and it happens in the States. We call it domestic violence. When a dude sit back and say, I'm gonna delete me and myself, I'm gonna delete myself, delete my kids, delete my girlfriend. And so they'll we have we call that mass deletion. He took everybody in the house out. In Colombia, that's under the umbrella of femicide. You deleted a woman, that's femicide. If you grape a woman, that's femicide. So all of that falls up under the umbrella of femicide. And Jason is right. Dudes will delete their girlfriends in a minute if these dudes are insecure. That's one thing I do know about Colombia. These are some of the most insecure dudes, more ego, macho, machismo type dudes, man. I kid you not. And if they get an inkling, a breath that they girlfriend, a whiff that they girlfriend out there doing something, especially if they're a baller, don't take care of that. And she gone. She is gone. Vic said that was last year when he was here. Yep. So yeah. So definitely, if you guys want to go to either one of those hotels, you can definitely take advantage of them. Shout out to our girl Gail, the Southern Belle, being here this evening with us as well. If you guys want to support the channel with Patreon as well, we appreciate that. We're looking pretty good with the Patreon members. Make sure you guys continue to do some great things for supporting the channel on a monthly basis with $5 for Patreon. Just $5 support the Patreon. Just click the link and you can join our Patreon. And that was basically it, Jason, for tonight. We've been on this live stream almost 3 hours. I really want it to be 2 hours, but we have so much information to share. I just want to say thank you for coming on board and sharing the information. If you had just at least 1 to 2 bits of advice that you could give guys after this situation with this young man in Medellin, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, well, Brother Andre, I thank you for having me on your platform. The biggest advice I could give, which I think was to your question number 1, which is just utilize the help you have in front of you. Utilize the opportunity, the resources you have in front of you. Whether it's yourself, whether it's myself, whether it's anyone else, reach out and just ask the questions. Hey, I'm planning on going to Colombia for the first time. I've never been to Cali, but if someone was to reach out to me privately, this Paise Gringo, this is my YouTube channel, is also my Instagram. But if someone hit me up on private on Instagram and say, hey, I'm going to Cali, never been there, but I have these questions, I could say, hey, you know what? I've never been to Cali, but I know Colombia. So I can advise you on this. But if you want to niche it down to the city, I can reach out to someone else to get you a better answer, right?
There's always somebody, yep.
There's always somebody. Don't think you know it. Don't think you know it all. And don't go out there blind. That can, and I believe will, save a life.
Absolutely. Back to the hotel real quick. And thanks again, Jay. Back to the hotel real quick. Yep, the buffet style of breakfast included every morning, and it is very good. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's a really good. Those two hotels across the street from each other, connected to the mall. Very, very good location. I think somebody had one more question. He said, "Are the majority of tourists deleted in Colombia? Colombian Americans?" No, they aren't. Most time when deletions happen, it's just Colombian on Colombia, just like in the States, it's Americans on American. Like I mentioned before, guys, and me and Jason, as we mentioned before, because all of us are in this tourism expat space, it looks bigger to us it looks amplified to us than what it is. Colombia has regular everyday crimes like everybody else has, good ones and some normal ones and some bad ones. But for the most part, if you look at Colombian stats, it's Colombia did something to a Colombian. They robbed a Colombian, robbed a Colombian hustled a Colombian. It wasn't us. We are a small, minute pool of people in this vast country of 24 million, of 54 million people. They may get of us foreigners maybe 3 million a year that come in for about a week or two. Most people go back home. That's it. And so most crimes don't happen to as far as deletions. That's a good question, Black Nubian. Don't happen to foreigners. We are small, minuscule amount of people that actually things like this actually happens to. But since we're in this circle of tourists and expats and travelers and things like that, it looks a lot bigger to us than what it is. Am I correct, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely correct, right? Because local normalized crime happens, right? But pretty much everyone that's following your channel or just interested in Colombian travel, they follow that on social media, and then you're gonna see those headlines. So you think it's happening all the time, and it's not. It's like you said, by far, Colombians are robbing other Colombians. Like that's just what it is. But you're focusing on the I'm an American or I'm a foreigner, and I'm interested in traveling to Colombia, and that's AI. That's a whole bunch of things where you start searching for that on Google, and they will deliver that to you.
That's true. That's so true. All right, guys, we are up out of here. This has been a great live stream. I hope this information was helpful. And if you guys have any questions, I think somebody got one more question for us. Shout out to Money Mitch in the building. He said, do you know of any passport OGs in Cali that people can check in when touchdown? Yes. First of all, you got me. And then secondly, there is a group of, we got a couple of Cali groups down here already. That's one of the things that we do during the consultations. We don't just do consultations, then we don't talk to you no more. We put you in groups of other men and women that are either here or come here on a regular basis. So you don't have to feel like, hey, I know one brother came down here a couple of days ago for his birthday. He texted me. He said, Dre, I haven't met anybody. I say, bro, are you in the groups? He's like, no. I said, let me get you in these travel groups. As soon as I got him in the travel groups, these dudes, he was able to find guys to hang out with. He was able to find out where he could go celebrate his birthday. He was able to hang out with us on, like, tomorrow is Monday. Holiday also here in Colombia. Every Monday, all of us meet up, males and females, throughout Cali. We all meet up at one little sports bar and we hang out for 4 or 5 hours, just chopping it up, talk about our days. That's how I met the brothers that have been here for 20, 25 years. They came up to, one dude walked up on me. He was like, Andre, love Crossing Borders. Love your channel. I was like, hey, brother. And he was like, man, I've been watching you for the longest, man. So we started up a conversation, and come to find out, like I say, he had been here 25 years. I had literally 2 minutes before meeting him, another brother had came up to us who had been here 25 years. So now you got all these guys and ladies. We're all just sitting around and they let us play our American music. So everybody, Nuck, if you buck, we playing all the classic hip hop, all the classic R&B, and just enjoying being Americans and not just being Americans in Colombia. We're just having our 4-hour American moment. That's why you have so many people down here. That's why you have the meetup groups or the WhatsApp groups. And so that's the part that's so important. So it's a bunch of us down here. Most of us live in all these little neighborhoods right around here where everything is in walking distance.
Y'all ain't alone. Y'all ain't alone.
Yeah, you are not. You're far from alone in Cali. Far from alone. But that's a really good question. Yeah. people that can check in with when you touch down. Yes, first person you got is me being down here. One thing that people can tell you about Andre, I am not funny style. If you come down here to Cali, I am not a disappear on you artist. I'm a person now you know I got several businesses, so I'm a busy person. But as far as leaving you stranded, as far as like, man, I don't know where to go, I don't know what to do, man, I'm always hooking dudes up. So definitely, if a person coming down to Cali, make sure that yes, get a consultation, but B, also realize that I got your back no matter what. Sorry, Dre, but Knuck of your buck, not a man. Listen, that's a classic, bro. That's a classic. That's if you want to get hype, if you want to get hype, boy. Beto, he says safe is a state of mind. Yes, prepare your mind for safety. Yes, he says state of mind. Yeah. But at the end of the day, guys, we're up out of here. You guys have a great evening. Make sure you subscribe to my man Paisa Gringo's YouTube channel, especially for information on Medellin nightlife as well as the daytime. Yes, sir. I'll
appreciate that, Victory.
What'd you say? Yeah, that's big.
I said appreciate Victory for that shout out.
Oh yeah. Shout out to all you guys for being here. But and Charles as well. But we out of here. It's been 3 hours. You guys go get some sleep. So you guys got to go to work in the morning because it's not a holiday in the States.
I work tomorrow. I wish yeah.
See? There we go. We out of here, guys. Talk to you later. Once again, this is Andre and Andre's Love Crossing Board.